And welcome everybody to the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. We got some Bowling Green State University hockey coming right up here as I'm Dan Ridenauer, joined alongside Vaughn Olam and Artie Abrego. Gentlemen, what a day it is. The first game of the home and home here on Friday night.
Oh, definitely a big game. I mean, BG going up against another Big Ten opponent after the Ohio State series. I mean, this is a pretty big series. First time playing Notre Dame since 2019. It's going to be a big one for the Orange and Brown.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Bowling Green going into this one, I mean, coming off of a solid series in Minnesota, now you're seeing Notre Dame, a team that's just, it feels like scrapping for wins, just coming into this one, feeling like maybe they can get a good home win against a non-Big Ten opponent that they're finally, honestly, rather thrilled to not get.
Well, and you talk about that first game since 2019 and how the, landscape has changed. Not only does Bowling Green has gone through two head coaches since then, it is now kind of a little bit more remodeled, if you will, since that 2019 season. But either way, this is a Bowling Green team right now that is just coming off just a huge momentum shift and is also looking at third place in the CCHA right now, realizing that they are a team to be reckoned with going on along into the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you got to really like that standing in the CCHA. I mean, you got to like their record on away games as well. They're 7-3-3, so that's a really good numbers if you're playing in an environment like Notre Dame. And I mean, head coach Dennis Williams, he's really gotten this program off to a really, really great start and a really better second half of the season so far. I mean, he's really got these guys playing well.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to keep in mind that half of their losses came in the very, very first 3 games of the season. They've really worked well together as a team to grow into this season. So now this is honestly a team that can beat so many different schools out there.
Exactly, and you know Bowling Green, just how physical of a team they are, how they like to, set the tone of things, and we saw that against Bemidji State just last weekend where the Orange and Brown were able to get the sweep of that, and that's got to be huge for momentum as well, especially when you look at the team right in front of you in Michigan Tech, splitting the series with Northern Michigan, that gave the Wildcats their second win.
I mean, it is pretty major. I mean, the Bemidji State series to me is more important because it was after that 1-0 loss to Lake Superior State at the Slater, and I mean, I was in the studio for this game, and it just felt like one where they just couldn't get anything going the entire time. And then when you have that series where you do sweep and you do play great through all 3 periods, I mean, that's just major for your program to just get them back on track. And now you're looking at a third place standing in the CCHA, and you can possibly move up if things go well, depending on today.
Right, and if I can jump on what you were talking about, Dan, about physicality, I mean, Bowling Green, big-time physicality in that Bemidji State series, and that's just really something that they're going to need to keep on going throughout this game against the Fighting Irish, a team that really, that's been their whole entire identity throughout the season. I talked to you guys in my time about Arizona State and when they played for the Icebreaker tournament earlier in the season. I mean, that was Notre Dame's whole entire strategy to win. They were trying to get the other team rattled and chippy, and so we'll see if Bowling Green, honestly, tries to bite at that. We'll see how they're able to just counter.
I mean, it's going to be pretty tough. I mean, Notre Dame, 40 penalties for 151 minutes in the last 5 games. I mean, this is a tough team. They hit hard. They're going to go after you. They don't really care about taking those penalties. They just want to wear you down throughout the game. So, I mean, that's going to be really tough. But BG, I mean, we've seen all season they're a tough team. They fight back. So in terms of that, it's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, the Irish just go in there. And as you mentioned, they just don't really care about taking these penalties. They're going to play their game. And again, I saw that in Arizona State. I mean, they were a team, they honestly took game misconducts. They got sent to the locker room early. I mean, they got 5-minute majors, and they just continued to play their game throughout. And so if Bowling Green's able to honestly do well with that, against that identity, it could be a very, very good game for them.
It sure could, and we're going to get into the swing of things. We're going to look at the goaltending matchup as well as the CCHA, give our little predictions, some thoughts on that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
I'm Ryan O'Hara on the BG hockey team. I got 4 favorite restaurants here. My first one, Frickers, because of the frickin' chicken. My second one, Kermit's, because it's great breakfast food. My third one, The Row. It's great. It stays open late and has great food. And my fourth one is Juniper. It's great to go in the afternoon, and they have a really good name that too.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
And welcome back, everybody. We are in Bowling Green, Ohio in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. The Falcon Media Sports Network team, though, covering this game, the broadcasters are out in South Bend, Indiana, where we will be taking, or the Bowling Green Falcons will be taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam, and we were talking about just a little bit earlier the CCHA, so let's kind of get into that, just dive deep for a second. Bowling Green, after the sweep against Bemidji State, is now set in the third place spot behind Michigan Tech and St. Thomas, who will be playing shortly. But either way, Bowling Green right now in a good position, kind of just looking at terms of the standings, and then above Augustana and Minnesota State as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking good for BG in terms of that. I mean, 36 points right now, just behind the Michigan Tech Huskies, who have 37. Of course, you get the St. Thomas Tommies at top with 42. The season's really winding down if you look at the schedule. I mean, you only have a couple of games left to play, so, I mean, every point counts, every win counts at this point, which it has all season long. But now you really feel like your back's starting against the wall at this point in the season.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see BG kind of take it up a notch, especially after this series against Notre Dame. I mean, that's just a big-time team. Of course, not having a big, successful season are the Irish, but if you're looking at BG, they really, really need a successful series in this one so that they can just get momentum in against St. Thomas in the next series.
Absolutely. This is the time for Bowling Green to do it now, and especially since the Orange and Brown are the only CCHA team in a non-conference game for the weekend. So with that, let's kind of just take a look right now at the rest of the CCHA and those games going on. So let's start off with the Minnesota State Mavericks, who are currently ranked 18th in the country. They will be taking on the Ferris State Bulldogs. So just thoughts on that game. Who do you think is going to win? Just kind of what you're seeing there.
I mean, honestly, I kind of do have the Mavericks. I mean, they've been playing a very, very solid season, and of course, as you mentioned, big-time ranked squad, and they're just looking for an easy win against Ferris State. Obviously, nothing's easy in CCHA rivalry play, but I really think they can simply get it done here tonight.
Yeah, Ferris State isn't having the greatest season. They're 3-15. That's one of the records right now. I mean, I'm 3-15, and so I wouldn't really. It's definitely looking like a pretty easy matchup. When you look at the schedule for the Minnesota State Mavericks.
I'd have to agree with that, especially with Alex Tracy and just what he's been able to bring to the table, and Mike Richter Award finalist. So I'm going to have to take Minnesota State as well. So then let's move along. We're going to go up to Minnesota, where the St. Thomas Tommies, who are currently ranked 15th, will be taking on the 19th ranked Michigan Tech Huskies. That will be an 8:07 start Eastern.
Yeah, in that one, I honestly see that going either way. I mean, as we mentioned before, I mean, St. Thomas is that number one spot holder, but I think it's honestly going to be the other team just wants it more. You know, I mean, they're going to want to bump up into that number one spot. I think they can honestly get that done, no problem, and we'll find out.
I mean, honestly, as terms of the schedule looks, this is probably the most important game on today's slate. I mean, it's the 1 versus the 2. I mean, Michigan Tech, they're going to want that win badly, especially at this point, and it would definitely help them kickstart towards, the CCHA playoffs. So, I mean, that's going to be a huge game to watch. But I think St. Thomas is probably going to get it done tonight.
Well, and what gives Bowling Green kind of that, I guess, safety blanket, if you will, is not being a conference game tonight, where their conference record isn't going to really fluctuate. So you look at St. Thomas, a team that has 3 losses, Michigan Tech 4, Bowling Green 4. If St. Thomas loses tonight, then just the top teams fighting, kind of a more adjacent record than you're looking at. But either way, I'm going to have to go with St. Thomas on this one tonight in terms of the victory. And then let's take another look. Now we're going to head over to the state of Michigan, where Bemidji State, the Beavers, will be taking on the Northern Michigan Wildcats. So who do you have in that game?
I got Bemidji State. I mean, it's just really been a tough season there for the Cats. I mean, 2-24 overall, 2-16 in conference play. I just don't see the Wildcats being able to muster up that kind of energy to get it done tonight.
Yeah, I agree with Vaughn. I mean, you look at the record, 2-16, 2-24. That's just not good hockey. I would definitely have to take Bemidji State in this on this one.
I'm afraid I'll have to follow suit, and I'm going to take Bemidji State as well. And then last but not least, in the CCHA for tonight, we're going to have Lake Superior State traveling to South Dakota, where they will be taking on the number 16 ranked Augustana. So what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I mean, Lake Superior State, I mean, I think they're a lot tougher than their record suggests. I mean, they coming off a win against the Falcons a couple weeks ago, that 1-0 win. So I definitely think they're a little more of a force to be reckoned with than the record suggests. But again, Augustana, they're a really solid team. They're 6-7-3 on the year. I would have to go with them.
Yeah, I mean, Augustana's really, really good program. I mean, I saw them play back at Arizona State as well for that icebreaker tournament. They're just a really fun team that you want to go and see play, and I don't see Lake Superior State, honestly, getting that done against Augustana.
I'll have to agree. We're going to have to go with Augustana on that one. Just a spot below Bowling Green in terms of standings. They are ranked the 4th team right now in the CCHA, so I'm going to have to look at them. And then kind of just mentioned it earlier before we went off air, the goaltending battle for tonight. It's going to be the number 31, Nicholas Kempf, for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He'll be getting the start. He's played in 22 games so far this season. He has a .89 save percentage and a 3.6 goals against average. And then as for the Orange and Brown, they're going to be taking none other than, you've heard his name before, the Friday man, if you will. Cole Moore will be getting the nod from Coach Willie tonight for Bowling Green. I mean, you look at him so far this season, and kind of him and Steinman being the tandem that they have been, and especially, too, just what he brings to the table. I mean, currently so far this season, just what he's been doing, and then really you kind of look at his save percentage. You look at the games he's able to have against Bemidji, or you're looking at the games that he's had against Lake Superior. So it's going to be Cole Moore versus Nicholas Kempf tonight are going to be the two behind the pipe. So we're going to step aside here for just a moment, and then we're going to come back and look a little bit more in depth and the keys to the game here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Broadcasting from the Michael and Sarah Killeen Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, this is WBGU 88.1 FM, your source for local news, music, and sports. Return to Radio Freedom with Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Available locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online on bgfalconmedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app. WBGU Bowling Green, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, Zach here. Thank you for listening to 88.1 WBGU FM. Additional information about the station can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching at WBGU FM. There, you can stay up to date on the latest WBGU news or learn about any upcoming radio events in the community. Thank you. Here's Zach, signing off.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And thank you, Tyler. Here we are in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam. And here we go. Going to take a look at the keys to the game, kind of get things wrapped up here before we go to Ben Korek, who is in South Bend. So what would you say, just kind of looking at it, are your keys to the game tonight?
Well, I mean, one of them is just penalty minutes. You got to avoid, time in the box. This is going to be a very, very physical game, so you got to really rely on guys like Gustav Sternberg, who are going to get physical tonight and are going to end up spending time in the box. So you just got to fight through those. This is going to be a tough battle. You just got to fight through that. And then Kempf is a very tough goalie, so he's going to have to do a lot today to kind of wane off that BG offensive attack. I mean, he's got a .891 save percentage. He's a great goalie, so if I'm Notre Dame, just play through your goalie, make sure he's protected tonight, especially in such a physical game.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you're Notre Dame, you honestly just need to stick to your identity in just being physical, and then just get your guy in the crease comfortable. Honestly, just get him warmed into this game, and just get him comfortable in the crease. It's kind of as simple as that. But if you're Bowling Green, honestly, just put shots into the net. If you're just gonna fling enough at him, I mean, it will go in, and that's kind of how it's been for Kemp so far this season. And so we'll see if Bowling Green's able to honestly just produce shots and get them to eventually fall through.
Exactly, and both Bowling Green and Notre Dame are very physical teams, as we mentioned. I mean, you're talking about Bemidji State as a team. On paper, they had 19 penalty minutes, but then you look a little bit more in depth, 15 of those came from none other than Gustav Stjernberg. So seeing how that's going to pan out, I'm also going to look at tonight a guy like Ben Duran and what he's going to do. I mean, you look at the 3 goals and the assist he had against Bemidji State last weekend, definitely going to be a guy that you want to look out for and just keep your mind on. And another one, Ty Higgins, who his first game as a Falcon was the exhibition game versus the United States National Development Team, and then kind of what he's been for the second half of the season and what he's brought to the table. So those are going to be 2 guys to look out for, but especially Cole Moore. And just, when you have guys in the box, you have to play the special teams like Bowling Green has been. Killing 6 of the 6 penalties that they did against Bemidji State, it's really going to come down to the penalties, and you're going to have to try to eliminate them if you're Bowling Green and if you're Notre Dame. But if you do have that strong penalty kill, you have that safety blanket there.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we've talked about a lot, but it is going to be a physical game. It's going to be a game played through physicality on the ice. You're not going to get through this game without any bruises or scratches. It's definitely going to be tough for both teams, but you just got to play through your defenders, play through your offense. Again, the old saying, feed the hot hand. I would definitely agree with you, Dan. I think Ben Duran, he's going to be a key factor in this one.
Yeah, and I would agree with you as well on the Cole Moore situation. I mean, just getting him warmed up into this game. Obviously, it's always tough when you go up against a Big Ten school, no matter who it is, even if it's a team struggling like this Fighting Irish squad. And so if you are Cole Moore, I mean, just relying on your penalty kill still in front of you, keeping still to the identity wall right out in front of your crease. I mean, it'll be a big game for Cole Moore, and just to kind of see how he'll react.
And we'll look forward to seeing that. And I mean, you look too just a little bit more in depth on kind of the starters for the Orange and Brown right now. Ty Higgins and Breck McKinley will be on defense. Ben Duran will be at center, Tyler Hodson at left wing, Dominic Ryman at right wing, and then the goaltender will be Cole Moore. And then you look a little bit more in depth too. You're going to have Cole Brown on the left wing for Notre Dame. You're going to have Fisher at the defense with Kerr. Then you're going to have Werner and then Muzzatti with Kempf, who is going to be in net just behind the pads. So looking at it, just kind of what this game means too. For Bowling Green, they're just going to look to keep the momentum going, especially when they're going to get the sold-out crowd at the Madhouse on Mercer tomorrow.
I mean, especially if you're Notre Dame right now. I mean, if you're looking into this, just look at the stat sheet, right? I mean, these are all guys that have their plus minuses all in the minuses. So I mean, as you list off that starting 5, I mean, these are all guys that, if you look at it straight from the stats pieces, these are going to be guys that are really struggling. But if you're Bowling Green, you need to understand this is still a tough team to go against, and you just can't look at that stats and get too confident.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what you said earlier about just not looking at the record, that's definitely important for Bowling Green, because anytime a Big Ten school, you're playing against a Big Ten school, especially inside their arena, right, that's always going to be tough, and that's always going to be something. But remember the Ohio State series where BG performed great. They picked up a win, and in that series. So, I mean, you got to look at that as well. I mean, this is a team that can rise to their competition.
And we'll see if Bowling Green can rise to the occasion tonight. But first, let's send it out to Ben Korak in South Bend, Indiana. Ben, how's it going out there?
It's going pretty well, Dan, Artie, and Vaughn back in the Cooling Center studios. Thank you for going through our pregame today. Myself and Holden Ruck from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Before we get started, for all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Everything BGSU hockey, including the recaps of today's game as well as the preview, if you want to read that while you're listening to our broadcast of the first period. And we'll talk to Dan, Artie, and Vaughn after the conclusion of this first. Holden, our first time here calling a game in Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. Very exciting. It looks like a great atmosphere and a great rink here.
Exciting one. There's still a lot of fans pouring in here to the Compton Family Ice Arena, and a game that purports to be sold out should have the energy to match what I expect to be a really good game tonight, Ben.
certainly could be construed as a trap game here for Bowling Green. Notre Dame, not with the best schedule and the worst team in the Big Ten. They're 5-18-1 overall, only 1-13 in conference play this season, and that win comes in their last game played, that against Ohio State. So a common W for both the Falcons and Notre Dame. Notre Dame especially, a very talented team.
Yeah, that common W there, probably important for Notre Dame. It feels like the kind of team that could take some momentum into this one off of their one conference win, but we'll have to see as tip-offs here.
Sutter Mazzotti wins the opening draw from center ice. He's a very good face-off man for Notre Dame. Does so very well on a second line that has been the biggest scoring of the last couple of weeks, and we'll talk about that as the broadcast goes on. Hodson swipes it out of his zone, and retreating to gather the puck is the Edmonton Oiler draft choice Paul Fisher, a native of River Forest, Illinois, not too far away, and a player for the United States National Development Team was Paul Fisher. Back in the corner, back in their own zone. Notre Dame with the puck, wearing their cream sweaters, blue shorts, cream socks, and of course the classic gold buckets as they take an icing. The Falcons will get an O-zone draw, and classic uniforms for both sides, holding the all browns for Bowling Green today, which I think are the best uniforms the Falcons have.
Yeah, watching the teams take the ice, Ben, I have to say, the uniform is definitely something that draws your eye. We're here to talk about the actual game, but you do have to give the shout to the uniforms. Those reflective golden buckets do catch the eye.
Jake Sloan in for the draw, stepping in for what was, until this weekend, an injured Noah Morneau. He played very well as a third-line centerman. Morneau back in the line on the fourth line, actually, today, and he's coming right off of his shoulder dislocation that he had in the first game up at Ferris State. Has missed since that first CCHA series of 2026, and now is back at it today against Notre Dame. The pass turned over in the offensive zone. Notre Dame gets the puck poked away. That was Brennan Ali, who was hoping to keep the puck inside the blue line. Falcons back in their own end. Niedermeyer pressed up against the boards. Ali in the left wing corner. He plays the puck south of the red line, gets it back up to the point. Slapped in by Mackey, but it's deflected by Emerson up high, and it's out to Quinn Emerson as he streaks away with the puck. Leading scorer for Quinn Emerson, did not score last week, but he's got 25 points on the season and is a menace on all fronts for the Falcons. Defensively, offensively, power play, penalty kill, you ask, and Quinn Emerson will do it. Falcons with a nice hold inside the blue line. McKinley fires it in with Grant in front, and it's gloved and held onto by the goaltender for Notre Dame. First time we'll mention the name of Nicholas Kempf.
And if there's a defenseman whose name you're going to hear called a lot today, who better than Breck McKinley? In 24 games this season, 18 assists and 2 goals, 20 points total. He's a guy who's going to contribute on both ends. A lot of offensive production for Breck McKinley as a defender.
Fourth in the nation, first in the CCHA in defensive assists with 18, 10th in the nation, and second in the CCHA in defenseman points, only behind Evan Murr for Minnesota State in the CCHA in points, and he was a first-team All-CCHA defenseman last season, was Evan Murr for Mankato. Turned over, Noah Morneau with the puck, high slot Minville. He tries to work it free out to the blue line, is able to do so. Pass to Minville, high slot, he couldn't settle it down. It's behind the goal line again. Morneau away to Minville, the two freshmen, back up to the freshman Crampton, who fires it in, and it's poked away by Morneau battling net front. Dislocated shoulder and right back into the dirty end, right in front of the blue paint, in front of Nicholas Kempf, trying to wreak havoc. Falcons in the offensive zone. Crampton with the puck, fires it in. Half wall, bounces around the other side. Kempf gets sight of it again. The Falcons get a defensive change, but they'll have to take the puck outside their own blue line. Duran up with Notre Dame changing. He's got Hodson streaking to the middle, but can't find him. Duran pulled down to the ice. Pressing into the corner, there's Dom Ryman. The Falcons can't hold it inside the blue line as it's pushed out by Dashiell Oliver, another freshman for this Notre Dame team.
No connection with the net yet, but the Falcons doing a pretty good job of keeping the offensive pressure on, keeping the puck behind Notre Dame's blue line.
Back in their own zone, Notre Dame tries to turn this into some offense. They take it up the right wing, fired in, pass intended for Panofemis, and it doesn't land to him. Ryman cheating a little bit up. Stjernberg forces it ahead. Ryman with a touch, and Kempf will have to play it. Narrowly gets it away to Jaden Kerr, his sophomore defenseman, coming up the right wing side. Now down is Cole Brown into the left wing. He's pushed behind the goal line, puts a big check on Stjernberg, who shrugs it off, and the Falcons with the puck in their own end.
And that contact on Stjernberg is going to be something you probably keep your eye on in this entire game.
Will Bell with the puck now down the right wing. He's got his two forward partners, Niko Jovanovic and Jaden Davis, the centerman. This pass intended to go up to the blue line and Drew Mackey, but is picked off by the Falcons. Ty Higgins in front of his own bench. Opposite side benches here in the Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend. Pass to the slot, too hot to land to Quinn Emerson. Slowing down behind the goal line. Emerson will chase into the corner, battling with Axel Kumlin, the defenseman. Falcons have to retreat their blue line to gather the puck. The fire in, dropped by Kumlin. The Falcons will go for a change, and the blue, gold, and green will skate away with the puck. Mazzotti looks to tip it ahead. The biggest factor of his game, 6'6", 241 as a centerman. He is an absolute huge body to be a 10-goal and 11-assist scorer for this Notre Dame team. The biggest scorer on the team, his line mate Evan Werner, the second highest scorer on the team with 20 points on 10 goals, 10 assists. Shot there from the point, and he scores! Henry Nelson, left side defenseman from the blue line. And Notre Dame up 1-0 on the Falcons.
And no sooner do you say it, Ben, a highly scoring line right there, and Nelson able to get one behind Cole Moore. Early lead for the Fighting Irish here, only 4 minutes and 32 seconds into this one. They're on the board, up 1-0.
The defenseman, his third goal of the season, up to double-digit points now, is the junior Henry Nelson, and the Falcons will have to chase here in the first period.
And not a great start here for the Falcons, who over their last 6 games, last 3 weekend series, have only allowed 1 goal per game, going 5-1 in those games. So not a great time to allow a goal.
Joseph and Mazzotti, the assists on that goal. The Falcons take it into the offensive zone immediately. Connor Levis behind the rack of Kempf. Puck away. Stjernberg takes steps in, puts a check on the Fighting Irishman. Down to the left wing, Knuble in the corner. Bounces the puck along the half wall. The Falcons force it out to center, and Paul Fisher for Notre Dame comes up with the puck. Pass up to center. Emerson thought he had a beat on it. Sorry, that was Minville. Notre Dame takes it down the left wing now. Knuble with the puck. Dishes it out. Slap shot over the head of Cole Moore in the net for Bowling Green. Down the right wing comes Niedermeyer. His bank pass up, stopped at center ice, and he lifts it in to the opposite corner. Chasing it is the freshman, Drew Mackey. The defensive unit already has a goal today for Northern Michigan. A shot in from the left wing point. Beats Cole Moore. Notre Dame comes the other way now. Dashiell Oliver, another freshman. Pass to the slot, won't land. Taken south of the goal line. Axel Kumlin coming in from the blue line. Now another try there by Dashiell Oliver. Trying to get to that central area is Notre Dame. Playing the Falcons game, looking to get in front of the blue paint. Referee spins out a play. Duran takes his man down to the ice. Notre Dame with the puck back up at central ice. 13:50 to go in the first period, 1-0. The Fighting Irish lead with the goal by Henry Nelson, his third of the season.
Really good job by the offenseman there, getting back and contesting Kumlin on his attempt on the goal there.
Scoring in both Ohio State games is Henry Nelson. One of 2 series where he left with a positive rating this season, and a lot of negative ratings going around Notre Dame, but an early lead they have over the Falcons in game 1 of this home-and-home series. Absolutely decked is Simonovic, who goes right back at Jaden Davis, the centerman. Down the left wing comes the Falcons to Sloan. He gets the puck poked away. Half wall on the left wing side. The Falcons inside the blue line. Held in by Crampton. Fires in and is gloved and held by Nicholas Kempf.
Nice glove by Kempf there, and you can really feel the pop of the crowd after the hit.
Notre Dame leads 1-0 as both teams will change and drop puck to the right side of Nicholas Kempf. Kempf won his first game in 8. The last game that Notre Dame played, that was against Ohio State. 24 saves, 1 goal allowed, and a 6-1 victory for the sophomore goaltender. Only 2 wins in his last 17 games played, and that's a mark if you're Notre Dame. You don't even want to win for yourself. You just want to win for that goaltender that's been fighting all season and just hasn't got the wins to show for it.
Absolutely. A guy allowing 3.66 goals average. The better mark on the team. Definitely one you want to win for, though.
Brody Waters behind the goal line. Back up blue line. Niedermeyer high shot in over the head of Kempf as he put the glove out but missed it. Pass to the slot by Max Martin. Skates through the legs of Brody Waters, and now Notre Dame breaks it out the other way. Brown gives it up. Mazzotti the pass. High slot chipped away. Defensive recovery there by Jaden Grant. On the right wing side, pushed down. It was Evan Werner. He almost lost the puck, but it's behind the goal line again. Grant plays it away. Mazzotti keeps it on the right wing side, south of the goal line still. Cole Moore looking out of his left side. Niedermeyer recovers the puck, lifts it out to center ice for Waters to chase. Waters has it, pokes it ahead. It's recovered by Drew Mackey, forced ahead. Notre Dame really putting the pressure on Bowling Green in this first period. Kumlin the shot in, kick save Cole Moore into the left wing corner. Still in the Falcon end of the ice. Pass over, high slot, good move! Knuble slapped his stick and he broke it and missed the shot. Up to center ice, Morneau blows a tire. He pushes it ahead with the shaft of his stick, and Notre Dame recovers in their own zone. Puck possession time starkly in favor of Notre Dame here in this first period. There's shot in. Gets caught up in the gear of Ty Higgins as he was in his own zone, and he falls it out, and Minville pushes it up. Right wing, the junior, Ben Duran. His shot, chip blocked by Knuble. Out and recovered. And taken away down the right wing side by Brennan Ali. He gets it to the middle and now back out. Stretch pass up. Wrist shot missed way wide right. That was a good chance for Henry Nelson, looking for 2 on the game. Down to the right side, Brennan Ali. The Detroit Red Wings draft pick as he was drafted in the 2022 draft class. The same draft class as Marco Kasper on the Red Wings currently, and both the same age. Down the left wing side, Dom Ryman with the puck. Turns it over in the Falcon end. Duran up the right side, skating a bit tired. He disks it over to Hodson. A glove save needed to be made by Kempf as Ryman was encroaching. Hodson took a tumble into the boards. We're going to get a face-off in the O-zone for the Falcons, who are desperate for some offensive momentum right now, Holden.
Definitely needs some momentum. A kind of disappointing way to go into the face-off there. You've got a puck going to the glove of the goalie, but only going in at, a slower pass speed rather than an actual shot attempt. Definitely not something the Falcons want to see there early, as they have not really provided much offensive pressure at all against Notre Dame.
This timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green. Give them a visit at juniperbrew.com. Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Start your day with WBGU FM and Early Bird Oldies. Tune in to Northwest Ohio's community radio station weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. for classic hit music from decades past. Enjoy all the golden oldies you remember and stick around for local community news and entertainment with The Morning Show. Early Bird Oldies, broadcast weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are tuned into live BGSU hockey coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM from the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Puck dropped in the O-zone. Falcons win the face-off. Duran courtesy of that. Crampton the shot in. Just missed wide left. Duran down behind the goal line, battling with the 6'6" Sutter Mazzotti, and obviously loses that battle. Ben Duran giving up a lot of size to the lead scoring centerman for Notre Dame. He's got 12 assists on the season, now 22 points for the team lead, and one of the leaders in the Big Ten as well. Brown down, slot, backhand, missed a shot wide left. Paul Fisher with that one, and these defensemen for Notre Dame ranging in quite a bit. There's Brown again as he was playing up at the blue line. Cole Brown, New Jersey Devils draft pick, one of 7 draft selections in the lineup today for Notre Dame. All 3 first-line forwards, 2 second-line forwards, a defenseman, a fourth-line forward, and the goaltender, Nicholas Kempf. Foe lifts it up into the offensive zone. Morneau to try and turn the puck over. It's a breakout pass, 2-on-1 the other way. Right wing, Danny Nelson. His pass to Knuble won't land. He fires it back to the slot. BG picks it off and pokes it ahead to the right side. Here's Ty Higgins. He goes off the backhand and gets his guys a change. Grant, Max Martin back on the ice. Karodiak and Crampton back for BG as well. Drew Mackey, the defenseman, going up to try and wipe away the icing, but it'll be too long of a clearage for the Fighting Irish, and they'll come back into their own end.
Max Martin, definitely one to watch, see how he can impact the game today. Only 15 games played on the year for the sophomore, just a goal and 4 assists, 5 points total on the season.
That goal coming in the last series played against Bemidji State. That goal 321 days in the making. Last time he had scored before the last series was in the CCHA quarterfinal. Game 2 of the CCHA quarterfinal against Michigan Tech in 2025. 14 games played between goals, and that'll wear on you as a player, especially Holden, just knowing that you haven't scored. I'm sure he didn't know in 14 games, but in so long, you feel that presence weighing on you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a long time coming on that one, and I think it was really good last weekend for him to get that confidence from it, and you'll have to just see how he continues today if he can build on that.
Notre Dame with the puck, left side, Carter Slaggert, the left winger on the third line. A native of South Bend, Indiana, is Carter Slaggert, and he's got some connections to Notre Dame. His father, associate head coach until this season. Good wrist shot for Max Martin. It's poked behind the goal line, and Max Martin's got it with space. He fires it in, is dropped down south of the goal line, and rings around. Brody Waters battling for the puck. He's taken down to the ice with the puck at his feet. Wasn't playing the puck, but it was right by his skates. He's got the puck in the corner again. One Falcon will go for a change. That's Grant Sloan on for Bowling Green, and another centerman. He goes to dig in the corner. Right wing side, the Falcons in the offensive zone. 5 shots on goal for Bowling Green, 3 for Notre Dame, but the Irish have found the only goal. High slot, Martin working for a shot, shoots it in, save made, Kempf, and it's cleared away by Notre Dame. A wild chance there for our Falcons, but a chance nonetheless. They look to force it back in. Henry Nelson can't hold on to the puck. Down the right wing, Slaggert ahead. McKinley will get the edge on him, but stopping it behind his own net is Cole Moore. 1-0, the Falcons trail with 8 minutes to go in the first period. And the puck into the Notre Dame bench, and will reset up at center ice.
For a minute there, Ben, looked like we might have spoken it into existence. Good awareness by Max Martin. A lot of traffic in front of him, but just slaps it in the direction of the goal. Doesn't go, but, I mean, good to see shots up. Bowling Green, 6 shots on goal to Notre Dame's only 3, but none of them finding the back of the net just yet for the Falcons.
Ben Duran in for the draw, going against Danny Nelson. Puck one in front of the Notre Dame bench, which, as I mentioned before, on opposite sides, which will play when we come to our first penalty, which we have not had yet. But the penalty box is to the right of Notre Dame's bench, but across the ice from the Falcon bench. So an easier change off of a penalty for Notre Dame than it'll be for the Falcons. And that'll play a factor as we work into penalties. Both of these teams, high penalty takers. The Falcons number 1 in the CCHA, and Notre Dame number 3 in the Big Ten. And they are game misconduct demons as they've been this season, especially a couple of players. Duran, as he works in, high slot is shot easily corralled by Kempf, and he'll hold on to stop play. Go ahead.
And as you mentioned the penalties, Ben, any players come to mind?
Yeah, well, for the Falcons at least, it's Gustav Stjernberg, who, not where you'd like to mention his name. He does so many good things on the ice, but 60 penalty minutes in 14 games is the most for a Falcon since Sam Craggs in 21-22, who had 80. Before that, it was Lucas Craggs in 18-19. He had 120. 80 is the CCHA record for penalty minutes in a season. Stjernberg at 60. He needs just 20 more to have that record, and he's done so in 9 less games than the second highest penalty taker in the CCHA. How, I guess, impressive is that?
Not the kind of history you typically chase, but we'll certainly call it out when you see it.
Anybody that's watched Gustav Stjernberg, the alternate captain for the Falcons, play, they'll know that that's not all that he brings to the ice every game. He's an offensive threat. He's certainly a defensive threat, and one of the most physical players on the ice at any given time. Face-off won by Notre Dame up at the blue line. Kumlin fires it in slowly, though. It's in the corner. McKinley away to Brett Foe on the left wing side. Foe with a game winner against Bemidji State, and assisted another one. He, Max Martin, and Jake Sloan, maybe the best 3 skaters for the Falcons against Bemidji State last weekend. None of them honored the way Jackson Niedermeyer was, though, in the CCHA Weekly Awards. Niedermeyer, the Defenseman of the Week for the CCHA, 3 assists in Game 2. Left back wrist shot in. A cleanup try out in front, and the Falcons take it away. It's a 2-on-2 for Bowling Green as they come into the offensive zone. Waters down the left wing to Grant. Grant fires it back to Waters. Lands in the slot. Kempf down slow in his crease. Now he's back up. Lost his stick as well. Falcons turn it over. Kempf with the stick. They couldn't get a shot off. Waters on sides. Wrist shot save made. Kempf couldn't corral it into his glove. Back up blue line. Bowling Green with it. Fired in by Stjernberg. Crampton has to gather on the other blue line. Take it down south of the goal line. Crampton, the wraparound try is rejected by Kempf with his right kicker. Lifted up out to center ice. Bowling Green putting pressure on. Notre Dame changing. Down the right wing comes Max Martin. He's got Crampton with him. Makes a move. Open ice down the right wing side. Defended by the defenseman Mackey. Crampton took a step toward the center of the blue line. Couldn't hold the corner. And the puck comes back down into the Bowling Green end. Two-man forecheck for Notre Dame. They had 4 in the zone without possession for a second there. And they're really trying to turn the puck over. 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first period. 1-0 Notre Dame leads Bowling Green. Henry Nelson, his 3rd goal of the season. First of the game and the only goal for either of these teams today. McKinley turns the puck over. High at the blue line. The Falcons poke it away. Down the left wing comes Ben Duran fighting for the puck. Jimmy Jursev, who had his 3rd assist of the season on the Henry Nelson point. Only 1 forward point of the game so far, and that is unsurprisingly Sutter Mazzati. On the right side, turnover. Here's Quinn Emerson. Down the left wing, Morneau in center. Emerson back to Foe. Foe's wrist shot blocked by Cole Knuble. It's lifted off the glass and out to center ice by Notre Dame. Coming off the bench, playing the puck, Dashiell Oliver. Down the right wing. Firing it to the middle was Fisher, but it won't land to a white jersey. Waters got the entry, lost the puck as he did so. Back to Notre Dame. Down the right wing comes the Irish. 4:30 to go in the first period. Still 1-0. On the right side, Slaggert gives it up. Mackey with the puck. Blue line. Gives it back to Panofemis, the freshman. 2 freshmen on that line. Carter Slaggert, the junior from South Bend, a veteran of this team. And 2 freshmen with him. Femis from Ontario and Dashiell Oliver from Indiana. As this is going to be an icing against Bowling Green. A long shift for a couple of these guys.
And despite that long shift, no offensive output showing up in the numbers. Now up to 9 shots on goal now for the Falcons. Still no connection. Really a credit to both defenses so far in the early going. I know the goal scored would maybe imply some lapses from Bowling Green, but by and large, they've stood pretty strong through most of this period.
Ben Korak along with Holden Ruck here in the Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana. Bowling Green and Notre Dame. You'll hear from Dan and Artie and Vaughn back in the Cooling Center studio come the Rick Crow first intermission report in about 4 minutes of game time. Here's Simonovic. He rinks it away to Stjernberg. 2 big players, big defensemen. Simonovic, a solid defenseman, doesn't contribute much offensively, does so defensively. An outlet pass here to Jake Sloan. Jake Sloan with the puck on the right faceoff circle. He dumps it down south of the goal line. No Falcons could get into the play there for Sloaner as he was trying to make something happen on a breakaway pass from Rihard Simonovic.
That's been kind of the offense so far, just not able to capitalize on these opportunities they're creating in front of the net. And just passes out of position, just not clicking for the Falcons offensively.
Turned over in center ice by Notre Dame. Sloan down into the left wing corner. He plays the puck in front of a section of Notre Dame fans that's representing well the entire arena. That's pretty packed out today, averaging about 5,100 fans on the season is Notre Dame. Here's Brown with the puck, center ice. Cole Brown, the freshman, works it through the middle. Makes a man miss. His wrist shot, save made. Cole Moore, the rebound right to the Falcon, and they'll outlet it to center ice. Minville takes a high shove. The puck back to Bowling Green in their own end. They'll have to retreat with 2:50 to go in the first. Bank pass up, touched by Jaden Kerr, so it's not going to be an icing. Duran deep into the offensive zone, leaves it, the centering feed, back up to the blue line. Karodiak the shot, couldn't hold it in the blue line, and now a breakaway. Down the right wing comes Notre Dame, wrist shot, save made, big one there by Cole Moore.
And there you see Cole Moore not letting the first goal allowed shaking him at all. Makes a great save there in a basically one-on-one situation. Great job from Moore, who's really been excellent since the break of the new year.
Second timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, proud creators of the Ale Ziggy Zumba, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green is Juniper Brewing Company. For latest menus and Juniper Brewing Company details, go to juniperbrew.com. Notre Dame up 1-0, 2:30 to go in the first period. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey everyone, Zach here. Thank you for listening to 88.1 WBGU FM. Additional information about the station can be found on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching at WBGU FM. There, you can stay up to date on the latest WBGU news or learn about any upcoming radio events in the community. Thank you. Here's Zach, signing off.
Ever wanted to hear what a BGSU coach or player says after a game? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to watch post-game press conferences for all BGSU home volleyball, soccer, football, hockey, and basketball games.
Check out the Zig Zone Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Sutter Mazzotti in for the draw. He had 3 goals, 3 assists, and 6 points in his last 3 games. 2 goals, 2 assists, and the win over Ohio State. That was the last game played for Notre Dame, and that's hopefully going to put him on a hot spell. Penalty upcoming to the Falcons. Down in the left wing corner is Cole Knuble. He got hit high, I believe, by Sternberg, and he is still heading to the boards, down in a prone position.
Knuble definitely taking his time to get up there. I didn't kiss the hip.
He's going to get up. Didn't look like he was selling the call either, as that was a big check. And Sternberg, and he's going to go to the box. He's going to get 2 minutes for interference, which I'm sure that head coach Brock Sheehan is going to want an explanation on why it wasn't a more aggressive penalty, because I don't know if they're going to review this. And that's what Sheehan's going to be talking to the official here now. Knuble is up on his feet and okay. Referees for today's game, Tom Delafranco, Jonathan Satarski, linesman Mike Daltrey, and Dan Cohen. And this is going to be reviewed for a 10 major penalty. So Gustav Sternberg, as we mentioned before, 60 penalty minutes this season, most by a Falcon since Sam Craggs in 2021-22, who had 80.
Craggs a notable standout for the Toledo Walleye in the ECHL after his Bowling Green career. Sternberg, definitely some similarities in play style there that you see. And watching it again when they re-showed it on the Jumbotron here in the Compton Family Ice Arena, not sure if you're looking at major, but I definitely see the whistle there regardless, and stands to be a big opportunity regardless of how they decide to rule it here. Big opportunity on a power play with only a little over the 2 minutes left in this first period. 2:16 on that first period clock.
Technically 2 game misconducts in the last 3 games played for Sternberg. One against Lake Superior State, one in the last game played against Bemidji State that he took in the second period after a goal and assist. So if you count the scrum in the corner as a fight, he had a Gordie Howe hat trick. But 2 games ago, that big brawl at the end of the Lake Superior State game, he got a game misconduct after play had ended. He also had one earlier this year against Ohio State, so bad blood between him and the Big Ten. And we'll see if he gets his 4th major of the season with this today. It is a 5-minute major for checking from behind. And with 2:16 to go, the Falcons will play without Gustav Sternberg.
Unfortunately, as funny as it sounds, not a position that the Falcons are unfamiliar with, these 5-minute majors, and Gustav Sternberg not being on the ice, but a tough situation for sure, ending out this period with that man disadvantage, and a player like Gustav Sternberg whose impact goes so much deeper than just the physicality that he brings. Really a tough break for the Falcons here, who need to buckle down defensively.
a huge opportunity as well for Notre Dame, who is leading 1-0 right now. 2 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the first. They'll have just under 3 minutes of carryover time when it comes to the second period. And Waters is going to go to the bench. So I don't believe this is a situation where Stjernberg is going to be sent off the ice just because there wasn't enough penalty time left, or enough time left in the period for him to serve the penalty. I think he is disqualified from today's game, which is a big piece. Wrist shot, Evan Warner, he missed wide left. The Falcons with the recovery. Morneau, a staple on the penalty kill before his injury, and he ices it down. 2 minutes to go in the first. A 5-minute major to Gustav Stjernberg takes him out of the game today, just in the first period. Werner down the right wing side, a power play for Notre Dame. That's third in the Big Ten. All the criticisms you can make about Notre Dame's play this season, special teams really isn't one of them, especially their power play unit. Up at the blue line, Fisher knocks it in. It's deflected down, and save made by Cole Moore just outside of the crease.
And looking at Notre Dame, too, on the power play, Danny Nelson, the captain and brother of Henry Nelson, defenseman, scoring today for the only goal, has 6 power play goals on the season. He leads the team in those, so definitely, as he takes this next faceoff here, a player to look to on the power play.
He with 6, Evan Werner with 3, and Sutter Mazzotti also with 3. Those the 2 leading scorers. Down deep, Nelson with that chance, and he's poked into the corner, so is the puck. It's now open ice to Cole Knuble, who drew the penalty on Stjernberg. A big hit by the Goose. His pass to Werner on the left side won't land. The puck tried to be cleared away by Levis, who's now out of position, but he'll get back into it as Notre Dame frantic with the puck. Mazzotti in the left wing side, back up blue line. Paul Fisher gives it away. High slot, poke check, and a nice play there by Jaden Grant to get it back out. Notre Dame will have to reset. 60 seconds to go in the first period. The Falcons, who lead in shots on goal 9-6, are going to be on a penalty kill for a long time now. 5-minute major to Stjernberg.
And a really good poke check there from the Falcons, too, because Notre Dame doesn't have to rush this at all.
Down the left side, Cole Brown with the entry. He's got the puck behind the goal line as well as he gave it away, and the Falcons will rink it away once again. 30 seconds to go in the first period. Still a huge opportunity for Notre Dame, who leads a goal. You can put more on to start the second period as well if the Falcons are able to kill off the next 20 seconds. Falcons able to clear it away. That's Simonovic and McKinley. This unit will stay on. Grant and Sloan back ahead for Bowling Green. McKinley and Simonovic back for Bowling Green. Ali with the puck. Bounces over his stick. He comes and he'll get the puck first behind the goal of Cole Moore. Wrapped up back blue line. Misses his pass to Henry Nelson. Goes outside the blue line. That'll end the first period. The Falcons with a lead in shots on goal, but are down 1 goal and down a defenseman. Heading into the first intermission report, you'll hear from Dan, Vaughn, and Artie back in the Cooling Center studio. This is your home for Falcon hockey.
WBGU-FM is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Tune in daily for local programming that includes The Morning Show, oldies, indie rock, children's music, folk, jazz, world music, and so much more. WBGU is the return to radio freedom. Give us a listen on 88.1 FM or online at bgfalconmedia.com. 88.1 FM WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Since the day I stopped drinking, my life has gotten better and better. I can't take any credit for it. It just seems that without alcohol, I think better, I'm more careful with money, I watch what I say, I don't get into trouble like I did when I was drinking. It's scary trying to walk through life alone, and today I have that very distinct feeling that I don't ever have to be alone again.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Before I came to Alcoholics Anonymous, I thought all the people that I knew who didn't drink were self-righteous people. holier than thou. So it never occurred to me that Alcoholics Anonymous was filled with people who had drank like I did, and now were the same people that I used to drink with, the same people that I liked, only now they weren't drinking. They were people just like me who had been drinking for a long time and found out that it didn't work for them anymore.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And welcome back, everybody, to WBGU 88.1 FM. We're in the Collins Center studio where we're going to get this show on the road for the Rick Crow Intermission Report, a longtime BGSU hockey fan and an avid listener of WBGU 88.1 FM. I'm Dan Radnauer, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam, where right near the end of the period, Bowling Green will be shorthanded after a hit from Gustav Sternberg. So let's dive into that.
Yeah, it was a hit by Sternberg when the opposing player, I don't remember who it was, but he was facing downwards, like his neck was down towards the side, and when he was shoved in, his head went neck first. That's just a bad decision-making part on Sternberg's part. You can't have a hit like that, especially when it puts your team in the position of the 4-5 for such a long period of time. At the end of the first, we're already down 1, and you're heading into the second period. Not really the play you want to make in that scenario.
Right, and I think going into that penalty, of course, you're going up against Notre Dame, and there's just such a physical team, and we saw some big open ice hits early in that first period. We just saw them getting a little more physical than what we've seen out of past series. But I mean, when you're throwing penalties like that early into this game, I mean, that's just also going to rattle them a little bit more too. I mean, that was not a clean penalty, and I think we were all talking about that before that first period ended. I mean, he had the stick go right into the back of the head, thrown into the glass, and I mean, that's just not going to make any of the Irish happy. Of course, no hit will, but I mean, that's just not something you give up early in this game when you're already down by 1.
Definitely. I mean, it's definitely going to be, I think, a tone setter for the game heading forward. It was already pretty physical before. It's probably going to get even more physical in the second period, especially with a 4-on-5 power play as we begin the second period.
Right.
Well, and on that note, Danny Nelson will be one of 11 Fighting Irish to shoot, but this one will be a little different, as around 6 minutes into the period, Nelson would get his 9th goal of the season and make it 1-0 for the Fighting Irish, which is the current score. Bowling Green, though, so far this period with their 10 shots on goal, very close to Notre Dame. And, you mentioned a little bit off air too, Vaughn. This has been a very almost even game so far. Bowling Green just having the slight edge, but not getting the opportunities in their favor.
Right. I mean, Bowling Green, throughout that entire period, they were more the team with the sustained pressure, keeping it in at the points, keeping it in at the blue line, just keeping shots going to the net. They outshot them by a solid margin. And so what you're seeing here is, honestly, I was talking about this before the game too, about keys to the game just being for more so Notre Dame just throwing pucks at the net, but for And that's exactly what they got done. And for Bowling Green, kind of the same story. They have thrown plenty of pucks to the net. They just haven't had any good screens, any traffic out in front that have actually ended up going as almost what you could call kind of a lucky break for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it feels like BG is doing a good job like pushing the pace in terms of their offensive attack, their strategy. They've definitely been involved in that offensive zone. They're always attacking the net. I mean, that's pretty much Coach Williams' strategy. You just got to attack the net, play physical, and but it's definitely been tough to kind of get around Kemp right now. He's playing a really great game as well. And, Cole Moore, obviously, that was a little bit of an unlucky start, but he's got a couple of saves since then. So he's definitely getting back into the flow of the game as it keeps going on. So I definitely think BG, once they get out of that power play, I think they're going to go back to the same strategy. Just a matter of just, taking advantage of all your opportunities that you have.
Yeah, I think Moore has actually really, really grown into this game after, as you mentioned, it was about 6 minutes, right, into that first period. And so now you have Moore already starting to get a little bit shaken up. I was talking about how you just need to get more comfortable, and obviously that wasn't exactly the start that Bowling Green was hoping for. So now if you're Cole Moore, you just got to do the little things right, and I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean, you had 2-on-1s there for the Fighting Irish. You had great shots coming in, slot passes. I mean, you had a bunch of different opportunities there for Notre Dame down the line, but Cole Moore was just able to keep his crease protected.
Yeah, he sure was, and I mean, you look at that too with Bowling Green just being down 1. Still, though, you got a lot of hockey left to play, and that means there's a lot of other places you can just find yourself. But, I mean, beyond that, Bowling Green, though, I do think they got a little bit of momentum. We're going to see what this second period will hold. When we come back, we're going to dive deep into what BG needs to do in the second period to be successful, as well as scores around the CCHA. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Wake up and get going with the music you know and love on Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Early Bird Oldies broadcasts weekdays from 4 to 6 a.m. and plays all the tunes you remember. Find WBGU on the bottom of the dial on 88.1 FM or streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Early Bird Oldies will put a smile on your face and make you tap your feet. And it's only on WBGU Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And welcome back, everybody, to the WBGU studio here. I'm Dan Ridenauer, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam. And here we are. So just kind of looking at the way the period went, Bowling Green started out a little bit rough, got the momentum, and then are going to be shorthanded after the Gustav Sternberg ejection. But either way, plenty of hockey left to be played. What are your keys to this second period?
I definitely think, just back to what I said, just get out of this power play first, keep playing that sort of physical matchup. As I mentioned, it's going to get more physical in the second period, I believe, but you just got to keep on that attack. I mean, eventually, I think a shot's going to fall through, especially with how many shots you were making on the goal in that first period. So I would just definitely stick to that if you're BG.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds kind of funny, but I would say for both teams, you just kind of want to stick to what you've already been doing there in that first period. For Bowling Green, they did very, very well at keeping the sustained pressure in and putting shots to the net. Of course, you're going to have a struggling time in those first couple of minutes because you're on the penalty kill. But for Notre Dame, on the other hand, it's keep playing that physical identity hockey for your own team. It'll be fun to see in those first couple of minutes to see if they're able to actually put some sustained pressure in. And of course, when you're up a guy, you should. And for Notre Dame, we'll see if they're able to double that lead up in those first moments.
Exactly. And I mean, with that too, Henry Nelson getting his third goal of the season is kind of what has put Notre Dame just a little bit over the edge and kind of, given them the advantage so far. But I mean, you look at this game, the only CCHA game going on right now that's non-conference. Is the other CCHA games are conference for everybody. As we look here, Minnesota State taking on Ferris State. That will conclude after the first period. Minnesota State up 2-0 with Bemidji State and Northern Michigan, which a little bit of a curveball here. The Wildcats of Northern Michigan after the first period are up 2-0, and then later on tonight we will have Michigan Tech taking on St. Thomas, as well as Lake Superior State taking on Augustana. But back to this one again. If we're looking at Bowling Green right now, it's just going to have to go back to the connection and going back to, I think really what you need is just mainly getting the Ben Duran performance. I mean, you look at him, he's leading the Orange and Brown right now. Him and Brody Waters both have 2 shots on net that are the main contributors to the 10 from the Orange and Brown. Max Martin, Braden Crampton, the other 2-shot guys, and then Breck McKinley and Sternberg both got shots on net as well, but it's just really part of the angle almost of that shots and just where they're getting them from. A lot of this is going to be having to crash the net on Kempf and trying to get a goal that way.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think you're going to have to create some sort of pressure, and you're going to want to get Kempf out of position from that net in order to get one through. Because Kempf, he's been very solid today on these sort of longer shots that they're taking from sort of like the mid-range to the goal. So I think he's definitely done a great job. I think you got to get Kempf out of position. You got to get him a little nervous, and you got to just kind of sneak one through if you want to get your first goal of the day.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, Bowling Green is a squad that just kind of plays quicker. They have a much better mentality on fast-paced hockey, and so I think if they just get Kempf uncomfortable, they're going to be able to eventually put one through. Maybe it's not going to be a shot from the point like Notre Dame had. Maybe it's going to be something more quick and tic-tac-toe-y. You don't know. Maybe something with a little more snap to it, but we'll figure it out.
We sure will. And I mean, looking at Kempf so far this season, just the way he's contributed, he's given up 77 goals in the 22 games he's played, as well as just having the 631 saves on top of that. And then you're going to go to around just a little bit more now, and you're going to get into the 640 region as you have that with the 10 shots on goal so far. But either way, this is going to be a Bowling Green team that just has to keep it simple. First, you got to kill the penalty, but really, if you just keep it simple and you're able to get those shots on net, I would say that is the main key of success for BGSU in the second period.
Right. I mean, for Bowling Green, it's sticking to that. As you mentioned, I really do think it's as simple as that. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think it is pretty simple, especially as you head into the second period. I mean, there's still a lot of time left to be played as well.
Absolutely so. When we'll come back, there's 2 more periods of play remaining. After the goal from Nelson, we'll get this one on the road, and we will be right back in then just a moment. But we're going to play just a quick promo and then send it straight over to Ben and Holden in South Bend. So thank you so much for listening to the Rick Crow Intermission Report here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Back here in the Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana. Ben Korak, myself, alongside Holden Ruck from the Falcon Media Sports Network. We have a 5-on-4 to start this second period after a face-off win by the Falcons as they dump it back into the territory of Notre Dame. They're trailing by 1, Bowling Green is, and they have a power play to kill off for the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds as there's going to be an offsides against Notre Dame that'll stunt the time that they can get into the offensive zone. Gustav Sternberg never fails to show us why he is the player we know he is. Electric in every facet of the game, but especially when it comes to getting undressed and coming back out to watch the game just a bit prematurely.
Definitely one way to put it, Ben, but the hitting from behind and game misconduct, Gustav Sternberg tossed from this one, a tall order for the Falcons with 2.5 minutes, 2:32 actually, of a man disadvantage to kill off to start the second period.
Falcons have an extra skating Rehard Simonovic who will step up most likely and play some shifts with Jackson Niedermeyer, so at least they are still at 3 full lines of defensemen, but those pairings are going to have to pull some extra time. Here's Knubel. He makes a man miss. He was the one that drew the penalty on Sternberg. The hit from behind back in his own zone. He's in the offensive zone now with the puck. 2 minutes to go on a power play. Brody Waters still in the box for Bowling Green. Mazzotti, the shot deflected down. That puck beat Cole Moore and luckily bounds away from the Falcon net. Another shot in. Backdoor try from Mazzotti. Poked away by Niedermeyer, and then he clears it down. He looks like such a natural back there as a blue liner for the Falcons, and hard to believe he was ever a forward for Bowling Green.
Yeah, the impact back there can't be overstated, especially with some critical losses on that end.
Evan Werner working in his shot. Rebound chance. Big block there. Huge positional block by what looked to be Connor Levis. A right side try by Panofemis, who had a beautiful rebound chance, and it was Evan Werner with the original shot. And that was the scariest of opportunities so far.
Yeah, the first shot just a little bit off target, caught Cole Moore looking, and then on the back end for the Irish, second chance for Panofemis, but just unable to put it in the net. Great job by Levis being aware and present there. The puck kind of just careens over the glass and out of bounds. But a real scare there for Cole Moore.
Like the puck came up out of play and struck somebody down there outside of the glass, so they are being tended to. We are yet to drop puck as we're making sure that that person is okay. 18:49 to go in the second period, 1:33 to go in the power play for Notre Dame. If they score, no matter when, it will not pull Brody Waters out of the box, who's serving the penalty for Sternberg, who will not cede time the rest of this game.
Yeah, the puck just lobbed right over the glass, and the fan sitting right up by the glass. The unlucky in the line of the puck there.
You can only hope that the puck was coming on a downward angle softly toward her, the patron here in Notre Dame. They are bringing first aid people down. While they're tending to her, we'll take a quick step back. Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street and downtown Bowling Green. Give them a visit at their website, juniperbrew.com. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
My name is Anthony Hernandez. I'm on the BG men's soccer team. My 4 dream opponents, I would say, is Messi. I've been watching him since I've grown up, and I've enjoyed watching him play. The other one would be Sergio Busquets. He makes the game very easy. And my third one, I would say De Bruyne. I love his passes. He makes it look so easy with the through balls. And my last one, I would probably say Mbappe. I mean, he's just so fast and not easy to catch.
Ben Korak and the Falcon Media Sports Network crew covering the Falcon hockey team throughout the season.
We're back here, a face-off win for Bowling Green. They're able to clear it down. The lady that was struck with the puck is an absolute warrior. She just gave the signal to the referees to get play going, and within a couple of seconds they did so. Onside is the play. The puck is cleared down again by the Falcons, and $1:10 to go in what was a 5-minute major. 2 minutes, 16 seconds in the first period, and then just under 3 minutes of power play here in the second period for Notre Dame. They lead 1-0, the opening goal by Henry Nelson, the junior and brother of Danny Nelson, a captain for this team, also in his junior season. The Falcons clear it away again. A penalty kill for Bowling Green on the season approaching 90%. And a power play for Notre Dame that's about 28%, a very impressive number. Working high slot, Fisher lost the puck. He gets it back off of a deflection to Mazzotti. He takes it left wing boards. Under 30 to go in the power play. Up to the blue line. Fisher plays the puck. Back to Knuble. Poke check, Grant. Stick in the lane. Fires it down to Kempf, who plays it in the net. Almost a turnover, center ice. Notre Dame sweeps it in. With speed, Knuble, shot, save made, Cole Moore into the corner. Emerson looks to pin it up. 5 seconds to go in the power play. Blue line, puck tipped up in the air. Jake Sloan chasing the puck, gets it down to the goal line. Danny Nelson, wrist shot, missed! A nice one there by Evan Werner as he worked in. Back up to the blue line, played by Fisher down to the goal line. Out of the box, 5-on-5, we play again. A successful penalty kill, 5-minute major. Jake Sloan on a breakaway. He works in toward Kempf. Jake Sloan, he shoots, save made, Kempf. A big stop by the sophomore goaltender on a 1v1 scenario for Jake Sloan.
You can't get much more free than Jake Sloan just was, but unfortunately no Falcons there to help him out. Sloan approaches, just puts it right into the knee pads of Kempf, able to block it, fall on top of it as Kerr gets in there for the Fighting Irish as well, fending off any other Falcons trying to approach. Good defensive stop there, and a great play by Kempf, the goaltender.
Kempf held those legs open long enough to goad Sloan into shooting 5-hole, and once Sloan committed to the release, he shut it off and covered the puck. A very nice play by the sophomore, showing why he's the day-to-day starter for this Notre Dame team. To the left side, Simonovic with the puck. Offensive zone possession time for the Falcons, who lead in shots on goal, even though there's been 5 minutes of power play for Notre Dame so far. Notre Dame does have the goal, though. A left side blue line chance from Henry Nelson. Low angle shot. Ryman battling that front. Puck doesn't connect with him. Simonovic on the boards. The transfer from Miami of Ohio. He puts it down to the goal line. Ryman open ice, one of the best skaters on the ice at any given time for either team. So quick, so smart with how he moves, and especially good with the puck. Dashiell Oliver through center ice. He lifts it over the head of Cole Moore. Falcons will play it back as the Irish will go for a change. 16 minutes to go in the second period. Puck on the right wing side. Waters tips it in, chasing a goal. Max Martin south of the goal line. Karodiak will hold it inside the blue line. Will Bell gives him a check. Draft capital of Toronto. He was drafted just this last June in 2025. Back up, blue line, wrist shot, deflection, and a miss wide left. Jimmy Jursev, only 3 points on the season, one of them tonight. He doesn't connect with one there. Up to center ice, poked ahead by Max Martin. Morneau, McKinley, and Foe climb the boards and come up into play. Morneau on a forecheck, big check on Jursev. Back in his own zone, McKinley with Crampton. The stretch pass up, doesn't land. Henry Nelson comes up with the puck. The defenseman for Notre Dame, the slot working in. Jovanovic, he's taken away from the play. Good physicality. Knubel, his wrist shot. Save made, Cole Moore. Wraparound try. What a save there. Cole Moore with the right arm. The Falcons the other way. Brett Foe down in the O-zone for the Falcons. Up at the blue line. Big save by Cole Moore. Swept away by Kempf. With space, here's Jake Sloan. He wraps it around the net. Gives it up to Ty Higgins. 6 points for Higgins. He works in, looking for his first goal. Backhand try in tight with Kempf. Niedermeyer holds it in the blue line. Knubel loses the puck. Ty Higgins with what looked like a forecheck from the defenseman. Back down. Oh, a one-timer chance to Minville on a centering feed, and it doesn't land. Can't emphasize how big that save was for Cole Moore. Sprawled out with his right arm, which is not his glove hand.
And Knubel on that wraparound attempt couldn't have been much closer, but Cole Moore able to hold it down.
Werner dumps. Notre Dame chases, but the orange and brown get there first. Minville lifts it off the glass. Center ice, Levis to chase. Back with Mazzotti and Drew Mackey for Notre Dame. Mackey, the stretch pass to Werner. Werner, high slot, gets it poked away. McKinley, and he's leveled by Jake Sloan. Falcons playing more confident in this period after killing off the penalty. 13:30 to go in the second. But they still trail one. Still trying to break it away here is Notre Dame. Down the left wing comes Cole Brown, but he gets the puck poked away. Still in the O-zone for Notre Dame. Brown now on the right wing side, near side of the Compton Family Ice Arena. And he loses the puck to Dom Ryman. Ryman skates around his net. Big forecheck by Panofemis. Freshman on freshman, but he doesn't turn it over. McKinley half wall. Hodson gets a tip. He goes into the offensive zone. Kempf plays it, nearly turns it over to Hodson, but a 50-50 puck won by the Irish.
Brave play from Kempf there coming out of the crease to make that play to his teammate.
Kumlin the entry to the right wing side. Tyler Hodson. Hodson the transfer from RPI. 3 points in the last 5 games played and has not taken a penalty since November 14th against Ferris State. Down in icing against Notre Dame, and the Falcons will drop puck in the offensive zone. 12:35 to go in the second period. 1-0 Notre Dame leads. Time for station identification here on your home for Falcon hockey.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
So just one goal today. Henry Nelson credited with that. Mazzotti and Jursev, the 2 assists. Jursev, a defenseman. Mazzotti, the lead scoring forward for this Notre Dame squad.
And a big face-off here for the Falcons, who have not, at least through the first period and to now, led on face-offs wins.
Best team in the CCHA and 50-50 pucks. Here's Waters. He pushes it through the slot. Martin was there, but it didn't land to him. Turned over center ice. Notre Dame tries to outlet, but Jaden Grant kept him from the middle of the ice. A point that Willie prides him and his team on is their ability to keep the puck along the half walls. Will Bell into the corner. Karodiak takes a shoulder check there from Bell, who was skating with the puck behind the Falcon goal line. Notre Dame takes it back in after a clearing. Here's Davis, his shot over the head of Cole Moore. Bell again, clears it away. Jaden Davis, Niko Jovanovic, and Will Bell this line. Back up blue line, Jursev, his shot, stick blocked by Morneau. Good stick work there. Off of Martin as it's in the slot. McKinley will recover behind Cole Moore, and the Falcons will clear it up to center ice. Moore with 10 saves, a goal allowed. Nicholas Kempf, 12 saves, no goals allowed yet. Working right in, another rebound chance. Another one, save made Cole Moore. Cleared away, the Falcons turning it into some offense. Here's Brett Foe, his saucer pass, defended by Jursev. Foe in the left wing corner, near side of the Compton Family Ice Arena. Niedermeyer guarding the blue line. Higgins with him on the blue line. Puck against the half wall, digging. 3 Irish, 2 Falcons. BG looking to put together some offense in their first goal of the game with 9 minutes expired in the second period.
And they're really going to need that offense, Ben, because once again, I'm surprised Cole Moore was able to get behind that puck. I mean, the pressure that Notre Dame is posing against the Falcons offensively, they're catching Cole Moore out of position. He's making miraculous saves. He's not going to be able to do that for the remaining 30 minutes of this game, Ben.
Notre Dame shoots it in from their side of the red line. So it's going to be an icing against the Irish. The Falcons will go drop puck to the right of Nicholas Kempf. The Falcons still leading in shots on goal, and again, still trailing by that goal, 1-0. And that one may be one, Holden, that Cole Moore is going to look back on this game, win or loss, and think that that's one that he could have had back.
And I think that may always be the mindset for your goaltenders, but even so, with some of the saves that he's had tonight, you would think you'd be able to put it out of the mind, but that's the kind of player he is. You know, he's going to focus on those things because the margins are sometimes really thin.
Certainly a stoppable chance, a deep try for Nelson, but it finds its way through for his third and the only goal of the game, 1-0. Notre Dame leads in their home rink. Tomorrow, the Falcons host the Irish. This time out brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company. Before the sold-out game tomorrow, you should go to Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. You are listening to your home for Falcon Hockey, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
If you're already awake between 4 and 6 a.m., you may as well have a good time. Check out Early Bird Oldies, playing all the hit music of a different generation on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU. Don't forget to listen to the morning show immediately following Early Bird Oldies every weekday right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network hockey coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Fighting Irish head coach Brock Sheehan, his first season as the bench boss of the Notre Dame hockey team, coming off of an associate head coaching job here in South Bend, 2023 to 2025. He was associate head coach, and before that, a very successful head coach of the Chicago Steel. He was from 2020 to 2022, and the winningest head coach in program history. 108, 30, 12, and 3 for Brock Sheehan. Not the start that he'd want to his career in blue, gold, and green, but still an impressive resume nonetheless.
Yeah, and the blue, gold, and green, something he's familiar with too. Sheehan also a defenseman from 2004 to 2008, played in 161 games and was an alternate captain as a senior. So he's Fighting Irish through and through, Ben.
Led the Fighting Irish to their first ever Frozen Four appearance. He did in his junior season, Brock Sheehan, and now he's back where most likely he wants to be, as he had a cushy job with the Chicago Steel and in the AHL for a season which was not unsuccessful, and he foregoed that to be back here in South Bend. In their own zone, Crampton with the puck for Bowling Green turns it over to Maddox Fleming, the extra skating forward, a junior out of Rochester, Minnesota, played for Sioux Falls in the USHL, and the junior was there just before the Falcons' director of ops and goalie coach, Dusty Carlson, was at Sioux Falls. Carlson there last season, and Ohio State before that. Moving down the left wing, Mazzotti, a nice shot, nearly blocked by McKinley, but it's gloved anyway by Cole Moore for his 12th save of the match. How impressive has he been, Holden, just being able to keep Bowling Green in this game?
He's been super impressive, Ben. They've been harassing him from all sides. Second chances in front of the net, wraparound attempts on the backside when he's already extended in one direction. And save for that one goal that, probably could have been saved in the first period, he has stood strong under pretty heavy duress.
A .435 or over save percentage in 4 of his last 5 games. That 5th game was against Ohio State, and that was a win at home for Cole Moore. Menville working in through the blue paint, and he couldn't connect with a shot, although he skated a puck through. Clogging that lane there was Notre Dame, and now they come the other way for some offense. Evan Werner, the second highest scoring player on this Notre Dame squad, playing with Sutter Mazzotti will do that, and Mazzotti playing with Evan Werner will do that. A junior and a grad student, Werner and Mazzotti, 42 combined points this season. Bank pass up, breakaway here. Down the left wing, Cole Brown, far side, he gives it up. Mazzotti has a bad pass, but he was defended by the Falcon. A poke check there and a stick lift to work the puck free. He did so. Kum Lin, the shot, goes into the corner and misses the cage of Cole Moore. Over the head of the 6'6" next netminder, and to the right wing side, Kum Lin, the alternate captain, and now the Falcons break it away. Here's Brett Foe, left wing, got Emerson with him. Emerson pushing it in! The Falcons score! Ties it up 1-1.
And it really felt like it was coming for the Falcons. We saw so many chances where Kemp was able to stand on his head and, just barely steer something away. But Quinn Emerson puts the Falcons on the board. The 13th shot on goal for the Falcons as it stands. Both teams, 13 shots on goal. Both teams, 1 goal scored.
Quinn Emerson, his 8th goal of the season, tied for the team lead, and that breaking a 3-game pointless streak. His longest stretch of the season without a point. Still a plus rating over those 3 games, but he gets onto the goal column today. Quinn Emerson ties it up 1-1 with 8:20 to go in the second period, and an offensive zone draw coming now for the Falcons.
And the momentum swing of that goal's got to be huge for the Falcons. Coming into this second period off of the major penalty and getting ejected by Gustav Sternberg, not a lot of momentum going in your favor. That doubt starts to creep in, but really huge momentum swing there for Emerson. And it'll be interesting to see how the Falcons offense can operate now that they've kind of broken their silence.
A goal apiece. We're back up to even ice. Simonovic almost turned the puck over on a 2-on-0 breakaway against Moore, but he pins it up center ice and is able to keep the puck alive and out of the Falcon net. 8 minutes to go in the second period. Bowling Green with 1 more shot on goal, and that's been the reason that they've tied. That shot on goal on a breakaway. Brett Foe, Quinn Emerson. A nice pass by Brett Foe as well. Here's a one-timer chance that doesn't land. That one from Themis. Slaggert back in his own neutral ice, and he takes it across the red line out to the blue line. Shot in. Save made, Cole Moore. Simonovic gathers the puck in his own zone, far side, and up to center ice for Connor Levis. Levis lets it in, go to the bench. Hodson, skating tired, will get his guys a change and then go to the bench himself. Picked off, center ice, Ty Higgins flips it in. Hodson couldn't get to the bench. He's still out there on the right side. Clearly skating a bit tired and a bit sluggish. Sluggish, not the right term, but certainly with heavy legs is Hodson as he'll look to the bench. Korodiak and Higgins down into the corner. 13 minutes expired, and the only goal to the Falcons. Notre Dame started this period with just under 3 minutes of power play, as Davis was then leveled by Korodiak in the corner. And this puck is coupled up by Kempf, and another offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Falcons. 6:42 to go in the second. How much is that a point for the rest of this game, Holden, as we're at a quick timeout of game time, being able to keep the puck in the offensive zone and away from your netminder that stood on his head all game?
I think it's huge. The more shots that the goaltender faces, eventually they're going to start to let in some more. I think Cole Moore is a goaltender who can stand up for multiple periods and not give anything, but you've got to help him a bit on defense. You come into this game, you know you don't have Dalton Norris. You know, that's a big contributor that you're lacking. You know that you don't have Gustav Sternberg out there now that he's been tossed from this one. You know, some other guys have to step up. You're going to look at guys like Breck McKinley. You know, that's a guy who's been great offensively, but he's also a strong defender, which is his position. Ty Higgins has been really good in the new year as he didn't play during the first portion of the season. You're really going to look to guys like that to step up and help feed the puck back into the offensive zone, because you can't just let your goalie get shot on forever.
You just look at the defenseman turnover for the Falcons last season to this season. Now Sternberg ejected from this game today. Dalton Norris out with injury. Those were your two best defensemen last season. Inarguably, those were the top two that you had. Breck McKinley and Ivan Korodiak, two returners. Korodiak, who's had a fine season, but his only games with the Falcons that he hasn't played are in this season. He's been stepped aside a little bit for playing time to some very impactful freshmen. Breck McKinley, who played last year, an improvement of 13 points already this season, and it's not over yet from last year to this year. And then the addition of Ty Higgins and Braden Crampton, as well as Richard Simonovic and Jackson Niedermeyer, who transitioned from a forward to a defenseman. So the looks on defense for the Falcons nearly completely different than they were last season today.
And just the same, it feels like a load of riches for the Falcons. Any of those guys can be huge contributors on any day.
Knuble gets the puck away. Center ice, taking it in. Danny Nelson looks for a shot. He's bumped by two Falcons. And a penalty is going to be upcoming. McKinley's not happy about it. He and Niedermeyer were defending that breakaway by Danny Nelson. Looks like we might go on another power play for Notre Dame.
Nelson got kind of bobbled between the two of them, and I hate to say it, you can kind of see that one coming as Niedermeyer is going to skate into the box.
First penalty for Jackson Niedermeyer since the Ferris State series, that in the first game. And now Notre Dame will go back onto a power play, and you're really testing your luck with these man advantages for Notre Dame, as they are a very good power play scoring team, third best in the Big Ten, that have some of the top power play goal scorers and a very nice unit with some very offensive players. Puck poked out to center ice. The Falcons are the big kill on the 5-on-4 for 5 minutes earlier in the game, though, and they're trying to do it again here. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go. A 2-minute power play for Notre Dame. Knuble down. Mazzotti, his pass. The Falcons, Jake Sloan trying to clear it. And it's back up to the blue line and out slowly. There's a half-wall pass from Simonovic, intended for Sloan but never landed, and it escaped outside the blue line anyway. Nelson for the entry, couldn't get it. Werner back, he has to get it to Fisher. Fisher to Knuble, down the left wing, open ice, Knuble working in, and a block save made by Cole Moore. Now on the left side, fed in, rebound chance. The Falcons with the puck on the doorstep, backside, score! Cole Knuble on the power play, and Notre Dame leads 2-1.
And just a tough break for the Falcons there. Right as you gain some momentum, you even up the score. The Irish turn around and put another one in the net. And this is exactly what we were talking about, Ben. They get Cole Moore looking in one direction, and then when the rebound goes the other way, they put it right in the back of the net behind him. And no goaltender is going to be able to hold up forever against that kind of attack. And the penalty proves quite costly here for the Falcons. Now down one again with 5:32 left in this second period.
Couple of rebound tries. Simonovic looking to clear Mazzotti. Didn't realize Knuble was still behind the goal line. He stepped up 2 feet and cleaned it up from the back door. Cole Moore, no chance, and a power play goal scored by Notre Dame. Assisted by Mazzotti and Werner. A low angle chance there from the left side by Ben Duran. The Falcons back into the O zone. Here's Hodson to the right side, down the right side. Higgins back up blue line, held in by Tyler Hodson. Down behind the goal line, Notre Dame now leading 2-1. They have the edge again over the Falcons, who have chasing to do. McKinley on the left side. Ali pins the puck up. Held inside the blue line by McKinley. Hodson to rink it down. Chipped up in the air, still in the Notre Dame end of the ice. And the left side, Fisher away. Notre Dame skates it out, and another penalty upcoming. Knocked down to the ice was Jaden Davis. Breakout left side, Cole Brown, his shot and it's gloved by Cole Moore. And we're going to go on another power play with a tripping penalty against the Falcons.
You don't want to speak too soon, but things quickly falling apart here for the Falcons in this second one. Just on the heels of giving up a power play goal. Now 4:43 left in this period. Notre Dame's going to go on the man advantage again.
A goal in the first period for Notre Dame, a goal in the second period. The Falcons with one in this frame as well. 4 minutes, 43 seconds, and this is a must-kill penalty for Bowling Green. 86% penalty killers on the season are the Falcons. Noah Morneau sits in the box for 2 for tripping in his first game back since Ferris State.
And a tough one for Morneau, too, that being his first game back since the Ferris State series. Not exactly the performance overall that you'd hope to see from a player who was one of your really big impact players, especially offensively, prior to his injury.
We're going to drop puck again after a false start against a look-to-be Notre Dame. Werner and Mazzotti, the 2 assists on the power play goal a minute ago by Cole Knuble. That's a big 3-man punch for Notre Dame. 15 points for Knuble this season. Mazzotti with 21, Werner with 20. That's all coming in to this series between Bowling Green and Notre Dame. Back up to the blue line, played there by Fisher. On the Big Ten logo to Knuble on the right side. Fisher the shot in. Beats Cole Moore, but down back behind the goal line, and the Falcons able to clear it. 4:30 to go in the second. 2-1. Notre Dame leads, and now they're edging out the Falcons in shots on goal just by 1. Knuble with the entry. He works through, gives a bump to Simonovic, loses the puck. Danny Nelson recovers. The forward back to Knuble, back to the blue line and Werner. Werner with the puck, center ice. He working in, high slot, shot, dropped down. Cole Moore with a save with the right leg. He's given up 2, but he stood tall. 17 saves, just under a .900 save percentage for the junior goaltender for the Falcons. Down the left wing comes Evan Werner. He spins it back to the blue line, pass to the slot. The Falcons skate it out. Now Grant pushes it ahead. Notre Dame has to reset. Forces it back in, down the right wing. Working in. Ali gets the puck away. High slot. Nelson gives it up. Slap shot into the chest of Cole Moore. Axel Kumlin looking to fire it past the goaltender, but the junior makes the save.
Great job by Cole Moore just trapping the puck again. Only 46 seconds left now in this power play, and really important for the Falcons to hold Notre Dame scoreless on this one. The second goal allowed now for the Irish. The first time the Falcons have given up more than 1 goal since their home game in the second night of the series against Ohio State, a 5-3 win for the Falcons.
Duran and Emerson with McKinley and Higgins, the penalty killers for Bowling Green. Power play unit on the second unit now for Notre Dame, but very little lack of offense compared to the first. Now a breakaway here for Quinn Emerson. The pass just long, and Kempf will have to cover it up. Emerson gets bumped as he accidentally, it looked like, snowed Nicholas Kempf in the crease. And in for his defense was Henry Nelson.
A little bit of conversation outside of the whistles there, but for the Falcons here, I feel like you got to stay on the straight and narrow at this point. You can't afford to give up any unnecessary penalties.
30 seconds to go in the power play. The Falcons with the draw. Duran let it be won back by Danny Nelson. And now Notre Dame coming up. They have the puck, center ice. Knocked down to the ice was Cole Brown. And an offsides, I believe, is going to be whistled against the Irish. It's going to come back out to the neutral zone.
Just 21 seconds left in the power play for the Irish here. Niedermeyer, Ryman, Foe coming onto the ice for the Falcons. Just 21 seconds to kill till they're at even strength, and really important here to not give up anything on a spot where the Irish may try a pretty aggressive last attempt while they have the man advantage.
Brett Foe for the faceoff. He loses it back. Notre Dame with it. They fire it in. Higgins sweeps it down. Niedermeyer to clear. He's able to do so. Jaden Kerr not able to hold it in the blue line. Kemp stots it behind his own net. 5 seconds until Morneau comes out of the box. Is a forward, so he'll most likely skate right into play. And he does so. Goes right at Kerr, who, with Morneau encroaching, fires it from neutral ice and out of play. So I have a puck drop on the Bowling Green side of neutral ice. A penalty kill for the Falcons. But one penalty kill too little so far. They tied it up with Quinn Emerson at 8.5 minutes into this second period. And then about 6 minutes later, Cole Knuble, his power play goal, and we're 2-1. Notre Dame leading with 2:40 to go in the second.
Pretty crucial there for the Falcons to get out of that one without giving up the goal. Even if they're not able to even the score in this period, getting out of it without allowing another is going to be critical for them to come back in the third.
Morneau wins the draw. Center ice, Foe plays it ahead. Morneau and Knuble going into the corner. Knuble dodged the puck as he was dodging a hit there. Stjernberg maybe in the head of Morneau, even though he's no longer on the bench or on the ice. Stjernberg ejected. Late goings of the first period. Simonovic sweeps it in, offsides, so that'll just waste some time against the Irish. Up to center ice, Knuble seems like he's out on the ice at all times. He gets the puck poked but holds on. Jaden Grant on that forecheck. One-man forecheck for the Falcons, and they rotate between two-man and one-man depending on situations and how strong defensemen are for Notre Dame. The Falcon bench wanted too many men on the ice, all screaming about it. Don't know if you heard it. And there's going to be a bench minor. Bowling Green will go on to the power play. That's a big power play for the Falcons trying to climb back up into this game.
That's a big time opportunity. You've got 1:52 left, so this power play is going to go just over the third period's beginning, but it's going to finish out the second period, and really, really good opportunity here for the Falcons to even score again.
Ben Duran loses the draw. A clearing attempt coming from Notre Dame in their own end, and they get it up and away. Carter Slaggert on the penalty kill. The first penalty kill of the game for Notre Dame, the first power play of the game for the Falcons. 80% penalty kill for the Irish. 23% power play for the Falcons. Has been hovering around that range for a while, and one of the top three in the CCHA. Down in the goal line, Niedermeyer, open ice, back out to Crampton, to McKinley. McKinley with the puck, just inside, Duran to hold it in. Mazzotti, sorry, gets the puck away. Hodson on the right wing side, behind the goal line. Waters plays it to the left side. Duran up to McKinley again. Blue line McKinley, Duran working in, high slot, in tight, Waters wrist shot, he's checked down, and the puck into the corner. 1 minute to go in the period. BG with the puck, a penalty upcoming to Notre Dame. They finally touch it with the Falcons encroaching, trying to get a shot. We might be getting a 5-on-3 here for the next 51 seconds and some time in the third period. Mazzotti's going to go off, and that's a big defensive player and a big body that won't be out here on the penalty kill.
A 6'6", 241 frame for Mazzotti, and that's going to be crucial here for the Falcons. Waters just put the puck very high, almost near the shoulder of Nick Kemp, who's able to keep the puck down, but now facing a 5-on-3 situation here with a minute left in this period and the first 59 seconds, I should say, in the first power play. Huge opportunity for the Falcons.
Now in a must-score spot. Higgins, after the face-off win, fired in. Emerson back door, but it's blocked by Notre Dame. Back up, blue line, Crampton, high slot. He's looking in, gives it up. Duran, back up to Higgins. Higgins, back to Crampton. High slot again, slap shot, missed. A low angle there for the Falcons. Higgins still working in. Gives the puck up to the blue line, Duran. 20 seconds to go in the period. Back up, high slot, Higgins, right wing dot. Dom Ryman with the puck, gives it up. Crampton, back to Higgins. Higgins shot, missed wide right. Good chance there for the freshman D-man. Crampton fires it in again. Kemp standing tall. Cleanup try by Duran. Too much meat in the way. 5 seconds to go. BG with the puck in the left wing corner. Seconds to play. Duran working in. Shot off of Kemp up into the netting. The horn will sound. The period is over. We have 8 seconds of 5-on-3 in the third period, followed by a minute and 2 seconds of 5-on-4 for a Falcon power play. Bowling Green with a big opportunity coming up in the final 20 minutes. They're trailing 2-1 to Notre Dame here in the Compton Family Ice Arena. Dan, Artie, and Vaughn upcoming from the Cooling Center. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You could listen to WBGU 88.1 FM, or you could be part of the action. Volunteer with WBGU FM in a variety of roles, including on-air, promotions, social media, music selection, and more. For more information, visit the WBGU Facebook page. Volunteer with Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU 88.1 FM, the return to radio freedom.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And welcome, everybody. We are live inside of the Cullen Center, WBGU 88.1 FM studio, where here we are. I am Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam, where here we are for the second intermission report, brought to you in memory of Marta Crow, Falcon hockey fanatic and avid Falcon hockey and WBGU 88.1 FM listener. So, two goals, total, one for each team. Let's break this period down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough look right now for Bowling Green. Of course, I mean, you're down 2-1. You're looking for a beautiful opening to the third, of course, if you can finally get one through. I mean, this 5-on-3 is just not exactly is it an opportunity for Bowling Green to score. I mean, obviously, yes, it is, but it's an opportunity for them to just kind of find their footing once again. That second period was a lot more. I would say the momentum kind of leaned so much more into the Fighting Irish that time. They dominated so much more in shots and actual sustained pressure, which they didn't find earlier on in that first period. So I'd say this opening piece of that third period will tell us a lot about how this game will go.
Definitely. I mean, you're in the middle of a power play. You're on a 5-3 advantage right now for BG. It's definitely going to tell you a lot, depending on, you got a couple of seconds left of this power play. It's going to tell you a lot of what they can do, but they did a solid job of this period, just, kind of getting back to this one. They obviously tied it up for a little bit, and they let another go by, but still, I mean, they're still very much in the game. I mean, you're heading into the third period. You're only down by one goal, really. I mean, that's a really good place to be in, and especially against an opponent like Notre Dame, and you can still get it done in these last couple minutes of play.
Right. What would really hurt, I think, right now if you're Bowling Green is to have a dominant kill go against you. If you're Notre Dame right now, you're going to try to come out of that locker room, and you're going to try to get that as far away from Kempf as possible. And honestly, if they're able to do so in more so of a dominant fashion in those first couple of minutes, I think it's going to be hard for Bowling Green to rebound.
Absolutely. And I mean, you look at it too, just Quinn Emerson, who was able to connect, find the back of Kempf for the lone goal, but a beautiful pass too from Brett Fowen. I mean, something that the three of us stressed and talked about going into the second period was if Bowling Green were to score, it would either come off the rebound or it would just be right in front of Kempf, and that one just being Foe, and then the backhand from Emerson right in front of the net. So, I mean, too, as well, just I feel like if Bowling Green can extend the pressure on Kempf, they could easily tie this game up and possibly take the lead.
Right. I mean, in that first intermission, we were talking about how Bowling Green is just so much more of a quick-minded team and so much more quick to the passes and whatnot. And so, honestly, to see a goal like that come through is a little bit refreshing for Bowling Green and something that they just really needed to catch Kempf off guard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was definitely the right point. The Kempf was off. He was off his balance. It was a perfect pass to get him set up for that goal. I mean, but right in front of it, just right away, fired it right away. It was a perfect goal. I mean, that's exactly what you need at that point. Like, you're gonna have to get Kempf out of position again if you want to tie it up in this third period. But it's just it was just sort of at the right time, right moment. It's fortunate you let one by a couple minutes later, but it's a good momentum builder for the team at that moment in time.
It sure is, and we're going to see what else is in store for the Orange and Brown when we come back. We're going to be just set here, going to look more into the CCHA, look at the scores there, but also, are there any predictions for the third period on what else it will take for Bowling Green to tie this one up? So don't go anywhere. You are listening to the Marta Crow Intermission Report here on 88.1 FM.
WBGU-FM is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Tune in daily for local programming that includes the morning show, oldies, indie rock, children's music, folk, jazz, world music, and so much more. WBGU is the return to radio freedom. Give us a listen on 88.1 FM or online at bgfalconmedia.com. 88.1 FM WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And so here we are in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Von Olam and Artie Abrego. So here we are. You look at Bowling Green right now, trailing by 1 to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, getting outshot currently 21-18. But if you look at Bowling Green, they had the other home and home they had just a little recently to start the new year was against fellow Big Ten team in Ohio State. So you're looking at that right now. Bowling Green in a very similar position, trailing by 1 heading into the third period, and ended up winning that game at the slate. So you look here too, Bowling Green in a similar situation, just throwing that one out there. So let's kind of take a little look into that.
I mean, yeah, it's the same spot you were in against a Big Ten opponent, and it's always a task to go against a Big Ten opponent. But if you're Coach Williams, you've been in this spot beforehand, literally this exact same scenario earlier this season. I mean, granted, they're not in front of their home crowd. You don't really have that advantage factored into this game, but BG, they are a great road team. You can get it done against Notre Dame, but you just got to remember, you just got to dig deep against this opponent, no matter what the record is. But you just got to kind of dig deep and kind of do similar to that, what you did against Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green is such a fun team to watch, and mainly that's because of that mentality in the way that they just continue to push forward no matter who their opponent is. They don't necessarily play down or up to the opponent. Or I'd say they play up to the opponent, as we saw against Ohio State. I mean, they honestly compete with whoever they're going against. I don't think they're a team that's going to get disheartened by a 1-goal differential. This is a team that can honestly have a good talk in the locker room, get their momentum back, and take it into a good third period.
Especially considering, too, Bowling Green has the 5-on-3 advantage heading into the third period, which does give them a swing of momentum. But absolutely, I mean, just one shot of the stick can change the world here in Bowling Green, just only down by 1. You look at, the game changers you have, especially Emerson, who got the assist from Foe. And then they're also crediting just Sloan on that one, too. Just looking at the shots, though, a guy that hasn't scored yet but is really just peppering that one in on Kempf, Ben Duran, who is a guy that had a phenomenal series against Bemidji with the 3 goals and the assists that he had, but also, too, he's getting those shots on net, and it's about time. My guess is Ben Duran, if Bowling Green's to tie it up, it will be from Ben Duran.
Yeah, I mean, he's been attacking that spot for a while. I mean, he took the last 2 shots of the end of the second period, so I definitely think you sense a sort of sense of aggressiveness from him right now to try to get his team back on top. And I mean, a couple of seconds left of this power play as you open up the third period. I definitely would like to look towards him to take that shot if he is being this aggressive. But, I mean, is the defense going to recognize that? Are they going to sort of go towards that way, try to block that shot? But I think it's a good strategy because, I mean, if you're going to want a guy to, tie it up here, make that shot, I would take Ben Duran.
Yeah, Duran's a guy that throughout this game already has just been more of the factor for Bowling Green. If you look at the stats, I mean, he's the one guy who's even doing well in the face-off dot. He's having a well-rounded game against these Fighting Irish. He's leading the team in shots. You can tell that he's just got an extra oomph to his play right now, and he's just wanting that goal. He's playing it aggressive, and I'm really excited to see what we got for him in the final frame.
And so it goes. Let's take a look real quick around the CCHA. What else is going on? We have 5 games, including ours, going on right now. As you know, Notre Dame leads Bowling Green 2-1. But beyond South Bend, Indiana, there is Minnesota State taking on Ferris State, where Minnesota State, after 2, has the 4-1 lead. Michigan Tech is tied currently after 1 with St. Thomas. Lake Superior State is tied up near the end of the first period with Augustana, but a game that is surprising. Northern Michigan looking for their first back-to-back, their first 2-game win streak of the season. They got a win earlier this year, just the upset against Michigan Tech last week. They lead after 2-0 against Bemidji State, the same spot that was in place of the second period, which is, kind of crazy to consider about, but the two juggernauts currently of the CCHA and St. Thomas and Michigan Tech, the two that are at the top in front of Bowling Green, facing off tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a great game up top in the standings. I mean, of course, that's exactly what we expected. But what we didn't expect was that result, as you said, Northern Michigan, I mean, up 2 on Bemidji State. Bemidji State, I don't know what it is about them, maybe just a little too disheartened in that last series against Bowling Green. But regardless, I mean, you can't just completely lose your footing and collapse against a team that you know you're supposed to beat, a team that has only had 2 wins all throughout the season.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of disheartening performance from them. I mean, it's definitely not what you want to see out of a team, especially against a opponent, which they are. You would say they are better than, but North Michigan playing a really good game against Bemidji State. I mean, a lot of these games are tied up still. I mean, but one of them looking at is Lake Superior State and Augustana. They're tied up 1-1 right now as they end the first period. That's an interesting one. I would watch as the night continues, and we'll be able to look a little bit in our post game.
Absolutely, and I mean, too, just looking at the CCHA right now, St. Thomas leading, Michigan Tech, then Bowling Green, Augustana, Minnesota State, Bemidji State, Lake Superior State, and then the Ferris State with Northern Michigan near the bottom of the conference. But either way, that's going to start wrapping things up. If you guys have any final thoughts, now would be the time to share them.
No, yeah, all I really got to say is that Bowling Green just needs to keep on doing what they're doing. I mean, I know we're sitting here and we're talking about what they can change, but honestly, I am still liking their play. They kind of, even though not on the score sheet, they lost that first period 1-0, but I would say more so that they won that first period for the sake of momentum. They really played hard, and then in that second period where it's 1-1, I mean, honestly, where you were outplayed, keeping it tied, I really think this is a third period that they can come out and still do their thing.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a physical third period, but I definitely still think BG can get it done. It's just a matter of out battling Kempf in that goal area and this fighting through this Notre Dame defense. But it's definitely still a winnable game at this point.
It sure is, and now will be the time. We're going to send it to Ben Korak and Holden Ruck straight.
Back here in the Compton Family Ice Arena, Ben Korak along with Holden Ruck. Thank you again to Dan, Artie, and Vaughn, and you'll hear from them again post-game after this game is over. And right now it's sitting at a 2-1 Notre Dame lead. The Falcons with a power play, well, actually a 5-on-3 for 8 seconds, and then a minute 2 of 4-on-5 for Notre Dame. The last time the Falcons and the Irish met, that was in 2019-2020 season, in late November of that season, and both games were sweeps by the Falcons, 5-2 both nights. Before that, the last time that they had met was as CCHA conference opponents. That was in the second round of the CCHA, and Notre Dame swept Bowling Green in that regard to move on in the CCHA tournament. That was the last time that they met as CCHA foes, 2012, 2013, and they only played once since. So this is a big game for the Falcons and the Irish, reliving that old rivalry.
And the Irish haven't won against the Falcons since leaving the CCHA, so it's going to be a big one here if they're able to come away with it, leading 2-1 as we start this third period.
BG looks to gain a quick entry out of the box, and back up to 5-on-4 is Notre Dame, who would kill off that 8 seconds of the 5-on-3. The Falcons with 50 seconds to go in the power play, and what is looking to be right now a must score. They've had one other key opportunity. That was a breakaway by Jake Sloan as they gain the entry here. Here's Quinn Emerson. Good shot! Crossbar for Quinner. Back up to the blue line. Puck with Crampton. To the left side. Higgins down deep. Emerson after that crossbar behind the goal line. Back up Grant on his feet to Ryman. And back up to the blue line. 20 seconds to go. Crampton fires it in. Glove save made by Kempf. Rebound chance working in tight with the goaltender. It's cleared away by Notre Dame, but held in by the Falcons at the blue line. Crampton again with the puck. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Higgins with it. He's bumped with a loose stick. Scores! Ty Higgins! His first as a Falcon! And Bowling Green has tied it 2-2.
Ty Higgins with the tying shot there came onto the scene really strong with 4 assists early in his Falcon career. Finally gets a goal and at a much-needed time in the closing seconds of this power play.
Ty Higgins, top right corner over the shoulder of Kempf. Top shelf where Mama keeps the peanut butter cookies.
Gotta love it, Ben. I mean, the placement on that puck, phenomenal. That's just a spot that's so hard for Kempf to defend when they've been going low on him a lot today.
First goal as a Falcon is on the power play. Crampton and Quinn Emerson. Quinner's second point of the game. Crampton with another assist. Waters on the half wall. He pokes it into the O zone. Falcons looking to turn it over off Werner, who takes a check. Puck away. Falcons with it. On the near side, Ben Duran to the forehand, back behind the goal line. Mazzotti was fending with Brody Waters, spins him out of the play with the puck by his feet. McKinley to hold it in the blue line, can't do it, he'll get there first. The Falcons back up to 2-2, an early power play goal by Ty Higgins. Stretch pass, tipped on the positive side for Bowling Green. Emerson to hold it in the blue line, but won't arrive to him. It's taken away by Kumlin. Down the right wing comes Mazzotti, has assisted both goals. Deflected in front, and Notre Dame scores! Mazzotti from the right side to Werner, streaking across the paint. And Notre Dame quickly jumps back out to a one-goal lead.
What an answer from the Irish there, Ben. I was just thinking now the Falcons need to focus on not committing penalties, but Notre Dame doesn't need the man advantage there to get another one behind Cole Moore, their third of the day.
Werner's got his 12th assist. Mazzotti's got his 11th goal and his third point of the game. He has been a force to be reckoned with the last couple of games. 3 games ago, a goal and an assist. 1 game ago, 2 goals, 2 assists, and now today, a goal and 2 assists. And Notre Dame back up 3-2 with only a minute and 54 seconds expired.
And Werner, a really great job there, just slightly deflecting, changing the angle a little bit of the Mazzotti pass, and that's all it takes to get another one behind Cole Moore there.
Falcons taking a little look at this to see if they were going to utilize one of their challenges to see if it was offsides. They will not utilize that challenge, and after Ty Higgins' power play goal to tie it up, Notre Dame back up to a lead, and it tilted the ice back their way. Foe coming down the left wing. Breakout for the Falcons against Morneau. Morneau tips it in off a good pass by Foe. Foe already with a breakaway centering pass to find Emerson. And he was looking for another one but didn't land it. Emerson in his own zone. Up to Foe, neutral ice. Ahead to Morneau. Down the right wing, the freshman. He's knocked down to the ice by Jaden Kerr, who gives him a look after the check. And icing against Notre Dame. The Falcons with an O-zone draw coming up. 17:20 to go in the third. 3-2 Notre Dame leads.
And it really feels like every time the Falcons have started to get the momentum in their direction in this one, the Irish have just responded unfazed by it. A quick turnaround there, only about a minute between goals for the two teams, and the lead remains the same as it was coming into this period for the Irish.
Draw to the left of Kempf, who has been stunning so far for Notre Dame. 19 saves, 2 goals allowed. He's outplayed Cole Moore just a bit. And the Falcon defensemen have not helped Cole as much as they have recently. This will break the streak of 6 games in a row, the Falcons allowing just 1 goal. Here's Duran, give his back to Ryman. Doesn't land to him. Duran and Ryman with a 2-on-2 breakaway. Played it better, but the pass from the slot from Duran to Ryman on the backside wouldn't get there.
Nice job by Henry Nelson on defense there, just deflecting it off of the stick of Ryman and not letting him get anywhere with it.
Behind the goal line, Ryman up. Hodson tips it ahead. Dominic Ryman scored a goal at Bemidji State in Game 2. That was his first even-strength goal since November 28th against Princeton. He's out on the ice now long as the Falcons take an icing call against them, but he's been one of the most impactful freshmen for this Falcon team and has played every game this year. A solid scorer, one of the top 5 on the team. And the potential going forward for Dominic Ryman is huge in orange and brown.
Yeah, and that's not a light feat when you look at the number of talented freshmen contributing on this team at all to be among the best of them.
Ryman to poke it ahead. It's back in the corner on the slot. Bowling Green defenseman try and clear it away. Kumlin holds it inside the blue line, but it's out of danger, at least for now. Slaggert pokes it deeper. Kumlin will have to try and hold it in the blue line. It's held in, but turned over. by Dashiell Oliver. Back up at center ice, Slaggert takes it up the left side. 2 assists in his last 5 games played, a +1 rating, playing with Femus and Oliver during those last 5 games. Up to Simonovic, he dumps it down. And it looks like it's going to be waved off and icing. Notre Dame could have played it before the goal line. They got it away. Jovanovic down the right wing. Hasn't played a lot, but has played solid this season for Notre Dame. Only 27 games played as a senior for Notre Dame. Jovanovic did not play and did not redshirt 2 seasons ago as a sophomore. Now in his final season with Notre Dame. Down into the right wing corner, poked away by Jovanovic, back up to the blue line. Notre Dame with the puck. Right wing, point, shot in. Oh, just saved by Cole Moore. He got that one with stitches, dropped down on the crease and then cleared. Up to McKinley. McKinley in his own zone. He spins away from the contact. Niedermeyer couldn't wrangle the puck in. And luckily, Duran is there to scoop it ahead. Down the right wing coming Evan Werner. He and Muzzati connected for the most recent goal to even it away from 2-2. It's now 3-2. Notre Dame leads with 14:40 to go in the third period. Wilson gives it up. High shot to be deflected down. Muzzati and Werner in front, but too much traffic and it never got through. Fired over down to Cole Moore, who stops it with his stick. Karodiak back. Skating on a full pairing now because of the ejection of Gustav Stjernberg. Emerson with speed to give it up to Morneau. Fakes it. Now gives it to Morneau as he slashes down to the half wall behind Kempf. Up at the blue line, held in just barely. Crampton directed in front. Tipped in! Noah Morneau in his return has tied it up at 3.
What a goal by Morneau. If you followed the puck, you'd almost lose it. It touched about all 5 sticks of the skaters of the Falcons in the offensive zone before Morneau caught Nick Kempf just behind him.
Noah Morneau injured in the first game at Ferris State, the first CCHA series of this year in 2026. And now in his return has brought maybe the biggest goal of the night so far, 3-3 the score. That's Noah Morneau, his first goal since November 15th against Ferris State, and his first point since November 21st against St. Thomas. Falcons back into the O-zone, Hodson chasing the puck. Noah Morneau's goal, the game tying as of right now at the blue line. BG dumps it in. It's going to be whistled dead and an offsides. Oh no, maybe a puck touch by Notre Dame. Either way, we're going to get a redrop of the puck.
Morneau corralled a pass that was coming in hot from near the right side of Nick Kempf and then just gave it one more tap to his opposite side, the left side of the goaltender there, and snuck it in the net. What a goal there.
Braden Crampton's 10th assist on the Higgins goal, his 11th on the Noah Morneau goal. It's Morneau's 8th of the season as he tries to work his way back up to the first line as he was before his injury. Down the right wing, deep for Niedermeyer to try and get the puck away from Notre Dame. Cole Knuble, who has a goal today. That was a goal in the second period. Knuble with the shot, blocked by the Falcons. Skated away by Minville as he's tripped down to the ice, but no call coming against Notre Dame. Incidental contact for Minville that takes it. Big check against Ali by Crampton. With the puck away, Danny Nelson gets it away. Fisher back to Nelson. Disrupted by Minville. A nice defensive play, and now the Falcons with speed the other way. Peeling off toward the bench. So the Falcons will come up with 3. Here's Morneau. Gives it back. High slot, Minville to get it back to Morneau. Down in the right wing corner behind the goal line, Emerson. Back to Morneau in center, and it doesn't land to him. Notre Dame with a 3-on-2 the other way. Slaggert gives it up. A shot by Danny Nelson, knocked down, flung across the nose of Cole Moore. Now the Falcons the other way. A track meet coming up here in Notre Dame. Here's Foe with the puck as his guy's changing. Good pass, high slot Duran. He looks to pass it. He was right at the high slot, never even looked for a shot. 12:30 to go in the third. 3-3 the score. High area again, Duran, poke check, shallow, shot, and it missed. What a chance by Brett Foe with Duran. Foe another chance. Down in the crease is Kempf. So is Niedermeyer. Couple of players tangled up. Kempf sprawled out on his stomach as the play was blown dead. Slaggert pushing and shoving on Tyler Hodson. The Falcons had a prime offensive opportunity for Brett Foe when the play was whistled dead.
Tough one to come out of empty there for the Falcons. As Kempf a little bit slow to get up off the ice there, but he's on his skates now.
He's up. He's going to skate around. We have a media timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street and downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. 12:20 to go in the third. 3-3 the score. Noah Morneau with the game tire right now. You're listening to your home for Falcon Hockey, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts. Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
Check out recaps of this and every BGSU hockey match online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Compton Family Ice Arena, we've played till 12:20 left in the third, and we're back up to even ice. Noah Morneau, a goal in his return to play with the Falcons, his 8th of the season, tied for the lead on the team. 4 players with 8 goals. Emerson has reached that mark today. Hodson and Jaden Grant also at that mark. Falcons back in their own end with the puck. Under 12 to go in the third period. Tied up at 3. BG with the puck. Still back in their own end to clear it away. They got it up to neutral ice. Emerson with it. He has to reach behind, and he fires it in. And icing against the Falcons. We're skating on tired legs, and now we'll go get a change. Duran, Hodson, and Ryman. That's a high-scoring first line for Bowling Green. Duran, 22 points. Tyler Hodson, 20. Dominic Ryman, 17. That's coming into today. Back up, blue line. BG back in the offensive zone. Braden Crampton. His shot, gloved by Kempf, who's back in the net after being down for a bit. Back to Mazzotti. His pass to the slot. Cole Brown on the back door. Didn't land to him. The pass just behind. Mazzotti was open in the slot. Werner couldn't get it to him. Back up blue line. Fisher on the left side. From the point. Down to Cole Brown. Away to Mazzotti on the right wing side. Back to Cole Brown. Mazzotti, high slot, poked away by the Falcons. Back up blue line. Fisher connects with it. 10 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the third period. And taken into the rack is Dominic Ryman. Looked like incidental contact. He was bumping with Paul Fisher, the Edmonton Oilers 2023 draft pick. He went headfirst into the cage. It came off its mooring, so we have play stopped. That could have been a real dangerous play.
Yeah, Fisher's lid came off on that play too. Definitely an awkward collision there. And fortunately, no skater too much worse for wear as they reset the goal.
Paul Fisher, a very nice defenseman for this Notre Dame squad. 16 points coming into today in his 20 games played this season. Didn't play the last 2 series due to injury. He hasn't played in a win since November 26th versus Merrimack, as he didn't play in the most recent win that the Irish had over Ohio State. And he's played 180 games for for USA in the World Junior Championship, 4 Nations and 5 Nations Cup. 180 games played for the United States. How many people can say that they played that many for their country? And Paul Fisher is able to say that.
A lot of hockey under his skates, that's for sure.
Brennan Ali, the Detroit draft pick, he gains the entry and is immediately bumped by Niedermeyer. Falcons able to clear the puck, go for a change. Over the boards comes Jaden Grant. He looks to pick the puck up in center, does so. To poke it forward to Waters, who had position. Still at central ice, battling for the puck, 50-50 on the Falcon blue line. Puck away, Brennan Ali down the right wing, defended by McKinley. He takes Ali into the boards, steers him away, and the puck is steered away by Hodson. Turn back over to Notre Dame, working in tight, down to the goal line, Knuble. This it back up. Nelson, his shot off the half wall, missed the rack wide right, looking at it from behind the netting. And it's going to come down into the Irish end. Was it played? It was not. It's going to be an icing. 10 minutes expired in the third period, and we've played to 3-3.
And really pivotal for the Falcons here now. It feels like they haven't been squarely in control or had a lot of momentum in their favor more than Notre Dame's, and really imperative here as another faceoff is going to happen just off to the side of Cole Moore here that they don't make any defensive mistakes in particular.
Falcons are starkly losing the faceoff battle. This one back to Bowling Green. Hobson tips it ahead. Notre Dame will have to chase a slow-moving puck, and that's enough time for a new 5 Falcons to climb over the boards. Jaden Davis takes a bump. Recovered by Martin, who delivered the bump to Davis. Now open ice down the left wing, Korodiak. He has an assist today. Ivan Korodiak does. That's his first since Northern Michigan on December 6th. Wrapped in, backdoor to squeak through. Max Martin, a cleanup try, and Kempf shut off the goal on a bounding puck. Here's Sloan. He takes a big check by Jovanovic. A huge player, Jovanovic, 6'4", 223, not quite to the size of Mazzatti, but he plays heavier. And here's an offsides against the Irish. It'll come back out to neutral ice.
And a good offensive pressure that time from the Falcons. It looked like Max Martin had a shot inside, not able to convert. But still the Falcons getting good chances as the shot on goal margin very close right now in this one. 23 for the Falcons, 24 for the Fighting Irish. But you mentioned it earlier, Ben, the face-off discrepancy, not something this Falcons team is used to at all.
Morneau in for the face-off. He's got 4 wins on 11 tries today. That's 4-7. Emerson tips it ahead after the face-off. Oh no, he missed the tip. Going to be another icing and another long shift draw. Morneau's biggest series of the season came against Ferris State. That was certainly his most impressive. 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. And the first Ferris State series in the Slater Family Ice Arena. The first freshman hat trick for the Falcons since 2012 and was named CCHA Freshman of the Week. Actually Forward of the Week because Dominic Ryman was named Freshman of the Week for his performance playing on a line with Morneau.
And what a deserved acknowledgement for Morneau.
After that series, after that award, went on a little bit of a dry spell, scored the game after that, an assist against St. Thomas, and then had no points in 8 games played, did until today, where he had 7 points in the previous 3 games. So certainly a dry spell, maybe the break needed, although a dislocated shoulder isn't how you'd want to take a break.
But for a guy like Morneau, who you know can contribute at a high volume like he did against Ferris State, you'll take those confidence boosters any way you can get them.
Down the left wing comes Kumlin. He's bumped by McKinley, who loses his edge. So Kumlin open ice on the right side. He fires it in tight. High slot, the Falcons the first one there. It's taken away by Ben Duran. Up the near side, Duran with Minville and Dominic Ryman ahead. Minville on the right side, peels the puck away, digs it out to Higgins at the blue line. Korodiak shot in. Out of the crease was Kemp. The Falcons couldn't get away with the puck. Dominic Ryman, he tumbles down into the boards, loses the puck, but the orange and brown still with it. 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the third. Korodiak the shot, blocked ahead. Mazzatti's coming down the right wing. Out of the crease to play at Cole Moore. He sweeps it away, a nice puck play there by the junior goaltender. Held inside the blue line, though, Knubel. He gets slashed behind the goal line. Cole Brown wraps it around the forward up to the blue line, held in by his defenseman. Notre Dame trying to put together a tilting goal. They have a 3-3 tie. They've had a lead 3 times. Shot by Kerr there, missed way wide, and the half-wall bank didn't come back to a playable range. To the right side, Ali with the puck. He's held up against the boards, narrowly avoiding a holding penalty there is Ty Higgins. He deflects the puck away with his stick. Long shift now for these Falcon defensemen. They need to get the puck back and get him off. 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the third. Falcons trailing in shots on goal, 3-3 the score. McKinley chips the puck in the air, still in the Bowling Green zone. Knubel with a chance, but couldn't settle the puck down. Nelson with it, blocked, doorstep, carried away by Hodson. He takes it up the left wing, pushes it ahead, and it's recovered, but it's going to be an icing. 7 minutes to go in the third period, 3-3 the score. Quick step back for station identification.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
So BG will skate just a bit tired, and especially the defensive side, Ty Higgins and Braden Crampton. I think we get a whistle, both teams peeling away. And a timeout is called, I believe, by Bowling Green to give their guys a rest. Maybe a well-placed timeout, but we'll take a quick step back anyway. 3-3. The score here with 7 to go in the third. You're listening to your home for Falcon hockey.
Soon after humans began to walk upright, they invented folk music, and folk music was the only music, and it was good. Then came civilization, and rival musical genres arose. Gregorian chant, classical music, jazz, rock and roll. And there was cacophony, but folk music survived, and when the economy and technology collapse and civilization devolves into barbarism, these upstart genres will fall away, and folk music will rise again to its natural dominance. You can prepare yourself now for that inevitable future by tuning in to the Folk Music Show Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
Falcon Hockey on the radio at 88.1 FM and streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Shot in off the half wall behind the net of Cole Moore. It banks out in front. He shuts it down, and Notre Dame comes the other way as it squeaks away from the junior goaltender. Tie 3-3, 6.5 to go in the third. Shot in, save made, rebound on the slot. Slaggert the try on the backhand, and Cole Moore reaches down with the glove to shut it off. Getting into it a bit now are the Falcons. Morneau with the shove that Notre Dame's not happy with. There's Slaggert. He's wrestled down to the ice. Slaggert coming into defense of one of his players, and then the Falcon coming in the defense of his teammate, as Slaggert was on a tear.
Really the first flare of the tempers that we've seen in this one, and only 6:25 left in the game when it comes.
Looks like somebody's going to go to the box, and it looks like it's only going to be Carter Slaggert, unless we get another penalty upcoming from the Falcons. Looks like the referees and the linesmen might talk about it a bit. Slaggert's going to stay out of the box, at least for right now, and go to the bench. So maybe we'll not get a penalty. We're at the quick media timeout after one that we just took. 6:25 to go in the third period, 3-3 the tie. And it's going to come down to whichever team makes a mistake first. I think Holden, both teams played a relatively clean game so far. A couple of breakdowns have resulted in a couple of goals, and to be completely honest, offensive-wise, I feel like maybe the Falcons have manufactured more than the Irish have.
Yeah, it's definitely been a close margin either way. I mean, I think you can point at the little moments of, power plays, giving up a power play goal, or, 5 minutes of game time, not really being able to provide any offensive pressure as the Falcons because they were, playing defensively on the back foot from the Gustav Sternberg penalty in the first period. So I would agree with you. I do think they are playing as well, if not arguably better, offensively, and it's going to really come down to which team can avoid those defensive mistakes.
Sutter Mazzotti, a goal and 2 assists for Notre Dame. He's touched 3 of the 3 goals that Notre Dame has scored. Evan Werner has touched 2 of them, the most recent 2. For the Falcons, Quinn Emerson's touched all 3 goals they have scored. Braden Crampton has touched the most recent 2. And a couple of points spread around a couple other Falcons, including big goals from freshman Noah Morneau in his return from injury, and a big goal by Ty Higgins, his first point in a while and his first career goal as a Falcon. Back up down the right side, Paul Fisher with the puck on the blue line. No penalty being served. We're still at even strength, so nothing going to come of Slaggard's fury or the cross-check from Jeremy Minville. Emerson with speed, showing it off. He comes down the left wing and the far side and is bumped into the boards. Going off is Niedermeyer. Trying to take advantage of the defensive change is Mazzotti. And the pass for him just long. It's going to be an icing against Notre Dame, who is trying to expose maybe a sloppy change for the Falcons, but end up dropping puck to the right of their goaltender.
Yeah, with the Falcons having 2 skaters behind the Notre Dame net, the Irish offense wasting no time to try to get back down the ice, put some pressure on Cole Moore again, but unable to get anything there as the faceoff will come back to the Notre Dame's defensive zone.
And for the draw, Jaden Grant wins it back. Waters on the slot with a broken stick in front of him. Don't know who broke their stick. It's Mazzotti. He goes off, so it won't be a huge factor for Notre Dame. Grant lifts it up, and as it climbs the glass, it'll hit the net. And the Falcon end. 5:30 to go in the third period. Time waning to get an even strength or a regulation win.
And really a great chance by the Falcons after the faceoff there, if not for the stick really breaking up the play, getting the way off Evan Werner, I believe, for the Irish. A really close opportunity in front of the net, but it's still going to stay tied. And as you said, only 5:34 left in this one with the faceoff returning to the Falcons' defensive zone.
Back up to the blue line, played by Knuble. With the puck, he has a goal scored. Tries to get it to another goal scorer, Henry Nelson. That was the first goal of the game and the only one in the third period. Minville racing for the puck. Kerr gets the angle on Minville and gets to the puck first. Notre Dame with it. Knuble tips it ahead into the offensive zone, but offsides. Notre Dame has to wait, get back on sides, go ahead. 2 Falcons up. It's Sloan and Levis. Pokes it away. Levis chose the wrong side of the net. The puck around the other side. Ali almost disrupted by Levis. Crampton center ice turns the puck over. Played there on the half wall. Max Martin, a very good Bemidji State series. He's had a couple of nice shifts today. Knuble tries to feed it to the slot. The Falcons defend it. It's up to the right wing side. Under 5 to go in the third. Down the right wing, dumped by Bowling Green. A dump and change. The play for the orange and brown. Stretch pass up, tipped ahead by Oliver. Notre Dame will not go for a change. Higgins wraps it around with speed. Nicely peeled off the boards by Emerson. Turned back over. South at the goal line. Pinned up is Jaden Davis and Ty Higgins. Higgins still with the puck as it skates. Shoved off the play. And now taking the puck away. Emerson down the right wing. His nice shot chipped up in the air. Foe knocks it down, goes for a chance. Morneau with the puck. He rips it over as he was falling to his seat. Bowling Green with the puck in the offensive zone. Foe down to the goal line. He's shoved. Foe wraps it around, tries to get it to Crampton wide open. He's knocked down to the ice. Foe back up to Crampton, blue line. 3:45 to go. Crampton the shot. Easily into the chest of Kempf, who makes a routine save. No traffic in front. 3:44 to go in the third. Shots on goal tied up at even, and so is the scoreboard.
A couple of really close opportunities there. Noah Morneau was nearly on his knees trying to deliver that one into the net, but the Notre Dame defense standing really strong, giving Nick Kempf a little bit of help, and it's just enough to keep that score tied.
Grant in for the face-off. Bowling Green wins it back. They're all must-win from here on out. Grant the shot off of Notre Dame's stick and into the net. Will redrop. Now on the right side of Nicholas Kemp. These days are not going to look too impressive for the goaltenders, but Colden, I think you and I both know, and anybody listening, that they have had fantastic days. Nicholas Kemp, 3 goals allowed, 25 saves. Cole Moore, 3 goals allowed, 24 saves. Both encroaching in on 900 save percentage, even though they've given up 3.
Yeah, and the degree of difficulty of some of these shots is something that doesn't show up in the box score, but that doesn't mean that they're taking days off by any means. Really strong performances from both of them, saving the puck in a lot of different angles, catching up high in the corners, getting down on their knees at the corner of the net and the low end. They're doing it all tonight, Ben.
Both team with 9 blocks. The Falcons with a bit more defensive breakdowns, and they're playing without a defenseman. So they're already in a hole from that hitting from behind penalty against Stjernberg that took him off the ice in the first. Centering pass won't land to Waters. He takes it into the far side corner. Hodson with him. Back up to Waters. Waters tries to make Kumlin shake off. Up to the blue line, McKinley with Crampton. The defenseman, McKinley, shot in. Oh, what a nice glove save by Kempf.
Bit of physicality after the whistle there against Brody Waters. It's Evan Werner giving him a little bit of arm, but what a save from Nick Kempf there, sliding to the left and grabbing it.
3:09 to go in the third period. The first game in the Ohio State series for the Falcons in the Schottenstein Center. Holden, you and I at that game. We saw a shootout between Bowling Green and Ohio State. The second game in the Slater Family Ice Arena, won by Bowling Green, their first win over the Buckeyes since 2018. This weekend, another Big Ten foe. Tied 3-3 the score with under 3 to go in the third period. Henry Nelson, he pushes it down. Ali is tumbled down to the ice. Higgins is going to take a penalty, and we're going to get an interference. The puck right by the feet of Brennan Ali. And I'll have to see the replay on that, but to be honest, I don't see an interference. The puck was there. Higgins the hit maybe just a bit early, but the freshman's going to go to the box.
And you can call it what you will on the timing of the hit, but regardless, Higgins in the box now. Tough scene. The Falcons defense is going to have to play their absolute best here. Only 2:50 left in this game. You cannot afford to give up the power play goal.
For the draw, Danny Nelson. One back by Notre Dame. Must score power play for the Irish. They've been good on the power play all season. 2:40 to go. Back up, blue line. Fisher looking in. Gives it up to the left side, Werner. Werner with the puck. Big scoring player. Him and Mazzatti, the 2 biggest scoring players. Tipped off the half wall by Sloan. And the faceoff's going to come back into the Falcon end.
Minute 36 still remaining in the power play. Only 50 seconds more than that remaining in the rest of the game. So getting down to the wire here, I think the hope for the Falcons is to just survive this power play at this point. Your mind shifts a bit from a regulation win to getting the chance to play for overtime with the man disadvantage.
Grant, Niedermeyer, Levis, and McKinley, the penalty killers. Notre Dame out in their power play numbers. For the draws, Knuble. One back to the blue line. Fisher down to Danny Nelson, who takes a shove. Lets the puck skate through him, and Mazzotti tries to peel it off in the corner. Still on the half wall, cleared away to the Falcons. Bowling Green skates it up down the left wing. Grant holding onto the puck, getting his guys a change. His shot off of the stick of Notre Dame. It's into the netting. We get an O-zone drop with a man down for Bowling Green.
A good job by the Falcons there, pushing back into Notre Dame's defensive zone and just keeping the puck out of their own defensive zone, frankly. It's all you can really ask for if you're Bowling Green, if you're Coach Dennis Williams here. Minute 17 now in this power play. Ever more critical to not give anything up here.
2:07 to go in the third, 1:17 to go in the power play. Face off to the right of Kemp. The Falcons take the puck behind the goal line after a face-off loss, but now it's outletted by the Irish. Down the right wing, feed to center. A block stop by Karodiak. Full layout to stop that pass, and it ends up with a clear for the Falcons. A nice play by the sophomore defenseman, Ivan Kurodiak, who's trying to work his way back as a mainstay, as a defenseman for the Falcons. The addition of Ty Higgins taking playtime away from Kurodiak by a lot. Femus, backdoor shot, whisked wide right. Big chance from the right side, Cole Brown. Down Ali behind the goal line. He drew the penalty. Kumlin away. Up about to the blue line. Fed down by Cole Brown. Brennan Ali with the second unit of power play. 25 seconds to go on the man advantage. Shot in, deflected down behind the goal line. Femus back up. A chance. Save made. Cole Moore lifted out and down to the other end of the ice. The Falcons will go for a change, as Notre Dame does as well. They get their first line of power play. Back out. 55 seconds to go in the game. And out of the box comes Ty Higgins. Into play goes Ty Higgins. Crampton battling for the puck in his corner. Kurodiak and Crampton. Puck away. Down the right wing comes Quinn Emerson. The Falcons will have to go for a change as the senior takes it up and wastes some time. Off and into the bench. Mazzotti with the puck down the right wing behind the goal line. He's poked. Tries to wrap it around. Two Falcon defensemen converge and stop that chance. 25 seconds to go in the third. 3-3 the tie. Notre Dame and Bowling Green. The home leg for Notre Dame. Turnover center ice. Here's Braden Crampton. His shot. Save made. Kempf, a nice chance. A face-off coming in the offensive zone for the Falcons. 12 seconds to go and the final frame.
And the clutch save there by Kempf. The puck off Crampton's stick just barely bounces out of the glove and a little bit in front of Kempf, but he's able to quickly corral it, and no Falcons are there to get a second chance at it. Jeremy Minville, the closest, but unable to be there before it's saved.
Jaden Grant, Brody Waters, Brett Fogue, Breck McKinley, and Ty Higgins out for Bowling Green. Grant will take the face-off to the right of Nicholas Kempf. Both goaltenders great all game. Kempf been arguably tested more by the Falcons. He's allowed the same amount of goals as Cole Moore, but both goaltenders been tested quite a bit. Face-off one back, McKinley the shot, blocked down into the right wing side. Notre Dame clears it out to center ice, 5 seconds to go. McKinley back in his own zone, takes the puck away. A second, and the period ends. We're going to overtime here in the Compton Family Ice Arena. The Falcons and the Irish tied at 3 through 60 minutes. Quick shovel of the ice. We'll be back here for 3-on-3, 5-minute overtime. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Did you hear that, kids? You too can join the International Humanist Conspiracy. All you have to do is listen to the World Music Show.
দেশের নয় শুনুন পৃথিবীর গান
That's right, music from everywhere but here, Sundays starting at 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And some big news here in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio as the Orange and Brown head to overtime against Notre Dame. We do have a game to wrap up in the CCHA. Northern Michigan has gotten their third win of the season and upset the Bemidji State Beavers by a final score of 2-0. As the other scores going around, Minnesota State up 6-1 against Ferris State late in the third period. Michigan Tech tied with St. Thomas in the second period, and Lake Superior State trailing Augustana 2-1 in the second period. So those are some scores to take a look at in the period that we wanted to just point out for this quick studio update. We'll send it right back to Ben in just a moment, but you are on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Back here in the Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana, the Falcons and the Notre Dame Irish have played to even through 60 minutes. Tie 3-3, and now we head to 3-on-3, 5-minute overtime. The last overtime game for the Falcons was against a Big Ten opponent in Columbus, Ohio against Ohio State. That went through the 5-minute overtime into shootouts, where Ohio State took the victory. The last overtime decision for the Falcons against Northern Michigan, Game 2 on December 6th. The last game of the CCHA play in 2025. The Falcons won 4-3 on a Breck McKinley overtime goal. Flung into the corner. Niedermeyer will get there first for the Falcons. Only 3 men on the ice, way more open, way more skating. Dom Ryman, the only one who can get to this puck and stop Danny Nelson. He's on a breakaway. Nelson working into Cole Moore. Shot, save made! Cole Moore down into the corner. Big stop by the junior. Back up to the blue line. Held there by Kumlin to Knuble. Knuble, he works in. High slot, now peels it outside the blue line to get his guys reset. 3-on-3 for the next 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Lifted out to center, but a turnover. Bender ran in his own zone. Niedermeyer off. Higgins on. Quinn Emerson off there as well. Emerson and Higgins both have goals. Ben Duran does not have a point yet. Now Morneau. 3 goal scorers on the ice for the Falcons. Higgins, high slot. Still with the puck. Up at the blue line. Gives it up to Morneau. 2 freshmen. A freshman forward takes it out. Gives it to the senior forward, Emerson. He was going to be offsides, lost the puck, poked away Mazzotti. Down the left wing, Morneau the only that can get there. Mazzotti the shot, cleared away by the Falcons. A rebound chance, poke just wide. Mazzotti grabs the puck and takes it up to the blue line. A bad turnover there for the Falcons. High slot, Mazzotti works in. Still, diss it out to the right side. Evan Werner couldn't get there. Mazzotti still with the puck. South of the goal line. Pressure situation for both sides. Paul Fisher works in. Around the net. Looks to give it up to Cole Brown. He's got him wide open, a man off the bench. 3 minutes to go in 3-on-3 overtime. Paul Fisher waits for Mazzotti to go off. Now he gains the entry. Down the left wing, leaves it back. Brennan Ali gives the puck away, back up to Brown at the blue line, and he has to take it out. Playing the puck possession game is Notre Dame. They have the puck through center ice. Back up blue line, Brennan Ali works in, a pick set. He's got open ice, shot, off the post, no goal, says the referee. Saved by Iron are the Falcons.
Talk about close on that one there. Falcons have given up a couple chances that Cole Moore has been able to stand in the way of, but this one here.
Right where the crossbar meets the post. Directly in the corner, didn't look like it broke the plane. A gorgeous shot from the first line junior left winger. Face off, one back by Notre Dame. Kumlin with 2:30 to go in overtime. He takes it back into his own end. Still playing the puck possession game. The Falcons can't get it back. Knuble with it. Way deep in his own territory, behind his goaltender. Now he takes it up the left side. Knuble has a goal today. That was the second goal Notre Dame scored. He takes it up the right wing, works in, low shot, hugs the ice the whole way. McKinley peels it off. Last overtime decision the Falcons had. McKinley had the overtime winner, and the Falcons back with the puck. Jaden Grant with Breck McKinley and Tyler Hodson. Hodson across the blue line. He works in, back to McKinley, streaking through to the blue paint. And now a 2-on-1 the other way for Notre Dame. To the right side, Kumlin, the defenseman. His shot, save made. Cole Moore as he kicks it to the right side. Up to central ice, Brett Foe the other way. A turnover. Good move, Brett Foe. Tried to peel it back to himself. And Cole Brown with the poke check. He's behind the play. 2 Falcons back. Kumlin will head off. Down the left wing. Shot, blocked, Niedermeyer. On the goal line. Cole Brown still out. His pass is knocked down by Dom Ryman. Ryman, Foe, and Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer converted forward, essentially a forward on this 3-on-3 unit. 1:05 to go in overtime. Niedermeyer gains the entry, turns it over. Poked up, right wing side, Evan Werner. He looks for a pass, now works in. Beautiful layout poke check by Dom Ryman. Niedermeyer recovers the puck in his own zone. Up to Brett Foe. He takes it over toward his goaltender. Ryman loses the puck, turns it over. Mazzotti, shot, save made. Cole Moore in his glove, and he flips it away. 42 seconds to go in overtime.
And if you didn't believe that the goaltenders have been impressive tonight, all you have to do is watch what Cole Moore has done in this overtime period. Another incredible save. All the way down to his knees, reaching down. Kind of tosses the puck off, saying, that's right, I'm here.
Cole Knuble. Face-off won by Bowling Green. They have it with 35 seconds to go. Good pass up to the left side. Ben Duran working in. He makes a move. Save made. Kempf. Duran's knocked down. Lost his glove. Both of them lost his stick. It's a 3-on-2 for Notre Dame. Bumped down. No penalty coming. Puck back up to the blue line. Duran, both gloves on. Back in the play. 20 seconds to go in overtime. Knuble with the puck on the half wall. Big check by Duran. Gets the puck away from Knuble and out to center ice. 10 seconds. The Falcons playing for a shootout. Now they turn it over center. Quinn Emerson takes it up. High slot. Emerson gets it poked. Up to the blue line. Crampton will be the first there. He holds it in the blue line. No shot coming from either side. And we're heading to shootouts here in Compton Family Ice Arena.
And you couldn't have much closer opportunities for either team. I mean, we could talk again about the puck off of the meeting point of the post and the crossbar. I mean, you can't get closer than that without a save or connecting.
65 minutes of play, and we have a 3-3 tie. No goal in overtime. We're headed to shootouts. Cole Moore and Nicholas Kempf will switch creases. Cole Moore on the left side of your radio dial. Kempf on the right. The home of Notre Dame. 5-18-1 this season. Just 1-13 in the Big Ten. The Falcons 14-6-4 in the regular season and 11-4-3 in the CCHA.
And again, in that first game in Columbus against the Buckeyes, when the Falcons went to the shootout, it took till the sixth skater, James Hong, for the Buckeyes to find that winning goal. Otherwise scoreless amongst the first five for both teams and the sixth for the Falcons. So Cole Moore, the goaltender in that game as well, clearly displayed to be able to handle pressure well in these shootout situations.
Last shootout between the Falcons and Notre Dame in 2010. BG1. Noah Morneau takes it up the right wing. A goal scored today. In his game back, working in, shoots, scores! Morneau beats him. Moving in from the right side to the left side. A good tuck around the right leg. Now coming up, unsurprisingly, Sutter Mazzardi. 6'6", 241. 21 points coming into today. He works in, makes a shot, and Cole Moore makes a big save. No goal for Mazzardi.
Big for the Falcons here to get up one. A good job by Morneau. A scorer earlier and getting one behind the net in the shootout.
Emerson. He picks the puck off the dot. He also has a goal today and 2 points to go along. Works in, left side, his shot goes high. Looked like he beat Kempf. But Kempf didn't have to make the save. He shot it over the crossbar. And now Cole Knuble will come out. 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points for the junior. Grand Rapids, Michigan native. He takes the puck off of his own Notre Dame logo, center ice, takes it up the right wing. He works in, good shot, save made, Cole Moore. Their junior continues to roll.
And two of the stronger players now having gone both scoreless in this shootout, Knuble and Mazzardi for the Irish. Big for the Falcons, who still lead by 1 off of the Morneau make.
The Falcons with a make. They shot first. Brody Waters will take it off the dot. He can win it here. Brody Waters taking up the right wing. He moves in toward Kempf. Waters moving in. Slow move, misses his shot. And now a tying chance is coming up from the captain and first line centerman, Danny Nelson. Cole Moore in the crease. Stood tall all game and 2 rounds of the shootout. Can he do it and stop Nelson here? Nelson takes it up the right wing with speed, moving in to try and beat Cole Moore. He makes the save! Cole Moore with a big celly, and the Falcons with a shootout win at Notre Dame.
When things might have looked hairy for the Falcons, 3 goals allowed in regulation, Cole Moore was not fazed by that at all, and he stands strong. Mazzardi, Knuble, and Nelson, 3 big contributors during regulation, the goal scorers, and Cole Moore stands strong in the face of all of them.
celebrations in an away arena for the Falcons. They had a shootout against a Big Ten opponent against Ohio State. That the first game they lost, and then went back home and stunted the Buckeyes 5-3. They'll do hopefully the same this weekend. A shootout win tonight before they go home tomorrow in front of a sold-out crowd in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Final score, shootout win for the Falcons. One make, and that first from Noah Morneau is the difference.
What a showing down the stretch there. The Falcons did not lead this game, Ben, at any point during regulation. They started down 1-0 early after only 5 minutes of ice time, and they would trade ties and deficits throughout the rest of regulation, but able to even it up. And what a performance from Cole Moore tonight.
You'll hear from Dan and Artie and Vaughn back in the Cooling Center studios in a bit, but before that, we will take a quick break and come back here for the Bill and Karen Hoffert Stars of the Game. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage on X at BG_FMSN.
Today's Stars of the Game brought to you by Bill and Karen Hoffert, longtime BGSU hockey fans, Falcon Club members, listeners of WBGU 88.1 FM. The third star of the game gave the nod to Cole Moore. 3 goals allowed, but 30 saves. Stood tall through all 3 rounds of the shootout. Big Selly, that was a big one at the end. He's had such a nice 2026, the third star of the game today with the shootout win. Quinn Emerson, the second star of the game, had the most points of anybody in the match, tied with Sutter Mazzotti. He had a goal and 2 assists, including assisting the game-tying goal, the goal before that, and scoring the first goal the Falcons scored in the game. He touched all 3 goals, did Quinn Emerson for Bowling Green. And then the first star of the game, Noah Morneau, a big game-tying goal in his return, and then the only shootout make for the Falcons that won them the shootout 1-0 and won them the game, and a shootout victory for Bowling Green over Notre Dame. Myself, Ben Korak, along with Holden Ruck. Holden, a heck of a game today. We'll try it again tomorrow from the Slater Family Ice Arena, but the electricity of today's game, I don't know how you can beat it.
No, you can't. And for the Falcons, so much momentum to come out of this. Your last series that isn't CCHA play, you get Noah Morneau back, and he has a big game. And you've got Cole Moore playing as well as he ever has, especially standing tall in that shootout. The Falcons are scary, Ben, and the CCHA is going to have to keep them in their sights.
The CCHA will be talked about back in the Cooling Center studios by Dan, Artie, and Vaughn. Special thank you to all 3 of you for board operating, taking some time from your day and talking to everybody during intermissions. You guys are the best, and you'll talk through the post-game show from the Cooling Center studio. From Holden and myself here in South Bend, Indiana, we'll say good night and talk to you tomorrow. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics, only on WBGU 88.1 FM. This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And here we are in the Cooling Center studio here with WBGU 88.1 FM. What a game that was. I'm Dan Ridenauer, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam. And here we go, looking just quick what Notre Dame in the arena said for the 3 stars of the game. Noah Morneau with Sutter Mazzotti, and then the first star going to Quinn Emerson. But there you have it. Another come from behind, going to a shootout game for the Orange and Brown.
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, that shootout, that was major. I mean, that Noah Morneau goal in that shootout, and then Cole Moore being able to close it out with some couple key saves. That's a big amount of points for BG, heading into the later stage of the season with the CCHA standings. That's a good win, good shootout win, heading into tomorrow back here at the Slate. That's a really good momentum factor for your team, and the fact that you were able to battle back, down 2-1 heading in the third period.
Yeah, it wasn't the prettiest shootout, I think. We saw from both sides kind of, and that's what you see more so, I'd say, in college hockey is they go more for the shots. They're not the guys that are going to deke and try to make fancy moves like a Nathan McKinnon in the NHL, but they're going to go for that shot, and Morneau was the one who perfectly placed that shot, and honestly, with his one goal and that one lone score in the shootout, he wanted this to come back home and for them to have momentum as they go into Slater.
Absolutely. And you talk about that, just the sold-out crowd that they're going to have tomorrow and the momentum that's just going to be the carryover. You talk about a previous Big Ten team that BG played earlier this season in Ohio State, which was kind of, I guess, the comparison you were looking at with Notre Dame. But Bowling Green, they start on Friday on the road. They're going to be at home tomorrow. Myself and Ben on the call for that one, going to be just a phenomenal game at that. But, I think really just the highlight for Bowling Green today, if I had to put it into one word, I'd just do resilience. That was really just they answered the adversity. They just did not give up at any point in the game. Especially, too, you talk about Higgins. He's able to get a goal to tie it up. Bowling Green gives it up. They don't even give up after that. It's really just Bowling Green was resilient tonight. It was Noah Morneau, it was Quinn Emerson, and it was Ty Higgins who got his first goal as a Falcon.
Yeah, it was definitely a big game for BG. Resilience, I think, is a perfect way to put it. You fought back pretty much all game against a really physical Notre Dame team, and you were able to pull out today with a win. It was a great game. I think you want to get a couple of those goals that they scored back. I think some of them were kind of, you didn't really want to let those one go, but I think credit the goalie, Cole Moore. He really stuck with it the whole game, and he couldn't have showed up at a bigger time for the Falcons than during that shootout.
Yeah, this just showed so much of what the identity of Bowling Green hockey is and what it is to these players as well. When you're down throughout that game for as long as you were, to come back into a third period, come out of that locker room and do what you did, and to come out and get momentum back. This is a team that whenever they score 3 goals, they just consistently win or at the very least tie it. And so honestly, to get this result is just so relieving, I want to say, for these Falcons as they go into their next game.
Absolutely. And with that, we're going to just step aside for a quick moment. Then we're going to do our the CCHA scores, final thoughts heading into tomorrow here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
And welcome back, everybody, to the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. I'm Dan Ridenour, joined alongside Artie Abrego and Vaughn Olam. And here you have it as we start to close out. What a night it's been. A shootout win for Bowling Green. It had to go all the way to it, but Cole Moore going to finish the night with a 90 save percentage and 30 saves on top of that. Is the counterpart in Nicholas Kempf will get 28 saves and the .903 save percentage. But just as we kind of start to close this night out, just guys, just anything you'd like to share, anything you'd like to mention, just talking about the game or going into tomorrow.
Going into tomorrow, I think it's going to be more of the same. I think it's definitely, but I think it's going to be a more physical matchup because these teams now have, more history with each other, coming off win in a shootout for the series for BG. And, there are a couple of chippy moments throughout the game. And I definitely think the slate is a area that invites physicality with its fans, with how packed Bowling Green is going to make that arena and how intense of an environment that's going to be. So I definitely expect a more physical matchup, for tomorrow night's game against Notre Dame.
Yeah, when you got a sold-out crowd at the Slater, that's exactly what you kind of need. Also, if you're Bowling Green, coming out of a shootout win, a comeback shootout win nonetheless. I mean, you're going to go in and you're going to have fun with it with all of your fans in attendance. If you're Notre Dame, on the other hand, I mean, you're going to play with a chip on your shoulder. I mean, you had a guy get a dirty hit early on. You gave up a game that, honestly, for the majority of the game, you would say should have been yours. And so if you're the Irish right now, yes, you're hanging your heads. It's not a great time in the locker room right now, perhaps, but you need to wake up tomorrow and you need to understand that this is still something that you can get done, and you can come out of the series with a win tomorrow. But it's just going to be a really, really tough task.
It sure will be tough. I mean, you just talk about, especially, too, one of the things that stands out about the Madhouse on Mercer, that low metal barn, and just how that sound just kind of gets echoed and it just goes right onto the ice, and how steep it just kind of looks and goes back to it. It definitely will be a tough task for Notre Dame tomorrow, as here they'll just, with the game going into regulation, it will be considered more just even 3-3 for both of them. But either way, definitely a morale boost for Bowling Green as we look here, just closing this one out, heading into tomorrow for the sold-out crowd, with a bit of a surprise going to be happening after the first period tomorrow. But anywho, let's look at the CCHA, some scores going on with that, where I think the first one and the highlight currently, Northern Michigan getting the upset against Bemidji State 2-0, and then looking a little bit more in depth, Michigan Tech trailing St. Thomas 3-1 into the third period. As we also look here, Minnesota State didn't defeat Ferris State 6-1 in going for that one. And then also, too, the last game on the slate for the CCHA tonight was Lake Superior State and Augustana. Augustana is leading that one 3-1 in the third period. As you also look now in the standings, going to be shaken up a little bit. St. Thomas and Michigan Tech in the first and second place, with Bowling Green in third, Augustana in fourth, Minnesota State in fifth, Bemidji State in sixth, Lake Superior State in seventh. Northern Michigan going to go above Ferris into the eighth spot. Ferris State will head down to ninth. But anyways, that's going to be all the time we have here for tonight. Vaughn, Artie, thank you so much for joining us. Huge thank you to Ben Korak and Holden Ruck for calling the game, and a huge thank you to all you listeners out there for tuning in with us. We wish you all safe travels and a good night here. You have been listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.